Hello everyone, and welcome to the Saiyan What Ifs. So we are back with an interesting movie on What If Goku Defied Zeno. But before we start, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you enjoy my content. Let's start the story. Chapter 1. The Breaking Point. The Tournament of Power arena trembled, debris floating upward as if gravity itself feared what was coming. 40 fighters remained spread across the vast circular platform, a marble-like surface that had already cracked under the weight of cosmic battles. Universal survival hung in the balance. Goku stood at the edge, orange GI torn at the shoulder, watching Universe 9's final fighter struggle against elimination. Bergamo, the blue wolf man, clawed desperately at the arena's rim. His brothers already eliminated, despite Universe 9's compliance with every rule of the tournament, despite their fighters showing honor in combat. Zeno's tiny hand hovered over the glowing Universe 9 icon on his godpad. "This one's boring now," the childlike deity said, voice carrying the casual cruelty of a child pulling wings from an insect. The Grand Minister smiled placidly. "As you wish, Lord Zeno." Bergamo's eyes widened as his body began to shimmer. "Wait, we followed every rule. His words dissolved with his body, particles of light scattering like dust motes in a sunbeam. The entire Universe 9 delegation in the stands gasped collectively before they too vanished, existence itself denied to them in an instant. Their universe's god of destruction, Sidra, had only time enough to close his eyes in resigned acceptance. Goku's fists clenched, knuckles white. Each erasure felt like a cold wind passing through his soul. He'd sensed death before, had died himself. Twice, but erasure was different. Death left something behind. A body, memories, the possibility of return. Erasure left nothing, not even the void of absence. "Yay, that's one down." Zeno clapped, eyes curved in childish delight. His counterpart from the future timeline matched his enthusiasm. "That was fun. Who's next?" A chill rippled across the arena. The remaining fighters paused, their battles momentarily forgotten as they processed what they'd witnessed. Universe 9. Trillions of lives, countless worlds, histories stretching back to the dawn of time, gone in an instant, because a child god grew bored. "Keep fighting," bellowed Beerus, Universe 7's god of destruction, his purple feline features contorted with anxiety. "Don't give them a reason." Goku's mind Florida's. Head back to Grandpa Gohan's lessons long ago, sitting beneath the stars on Mount Paozu. "Power doesn't make someone right, Goku. It only makes them powerful. Remember that difference." He'd forgotten that wisdom somewhere along his journey, becoming too comfortable with gods and their games. He'd been the one to remind Zeno about the tournament, excited by the prospect of fighting warriors from other universes. He hadn't truly believed that entire universes would be erased, or perhaps he hadn't allowed himself to believe it. The fighting resumed around him, more desperate now. Desperation bred cruelty. Goku watched as Universe 4's insectoid fighter Ganos mercilessly drove Universe 10's final warrior toward elimination. "Lord Zeno," came the Grand Minister's mellifluous voice. "Universe 10 is down to their final contestant." "Ooh." Both Zenos leaned forward. Rumsshi, the elephant-headed god of destruction from Universe 10, trembled visibly. Beside him, the Supreme Kaigawasu pressed his palms together in prayer. Universe 10's last fighter, Murachim, a muscular monk whose technique had impressed Goku earlier, fought valiantly, but Ganos had transformed into a larger, more powerful form. With a brutal kick, the insectoid fighter sent Murachim sailing over the edge. "Universe 10 has been eliminated," announced the Grand Minister. "Let's erase them," exclaimed future Zeno. Present Zeno giggled. "Yes, erase time." Goku felt something snap inside him. Not in anger. Anger was hot and impulsive. This was cold certainty, a crystal-clear moment of moral clarity. "Wait," he said, his voice carrying across the arena. The Grand Minister paused, eyebrows rising fractionally, the divine equivalent of shock. "Son Goku, the tournament continues. Return to battle." But Goku stood his ground, eyes fixed on the Zenos. They followed the rules. They fought with honor. Why did they have to be erased? A dangerous silence fell. Even the fighters still engaged in combat faltered, turning to witness this unprecedented challenge. "Because it's boring if nothing happens when they lose," replied present Zeno with childlike simplicity. Future Zeno nodded enthusiastically. Erasure makes it exciting. Goku took a step forward. That ain't right. I can't stand by and let Kakarot. Vegeta hissed, suddenly at his side. Have you lost your mind? You'll doom us all. But something in the universe was shifting. Realigning. Goku could feel it. A pressure change like before a thunderstorm, the air charged with potential. In the audience stands, he spotted Supreme Kai Gawasu's resigned expression as his body began to shimmer with the telltale signs of imminent erasure. Beside him, Universe 10's attendants and fighters closed their eyes, waiting for oblivion. Time seemed to slow. Goku placed 2 fingers to his forehead. No, he said simply, and vanished. He reappeared in Universe 10's viewing area, surrounded by their delegation. Without explanation, he placed his hands on Gawasu and Rumshi's shoulders. In the next instant, he appeared with them on the arena floor. What is the meaning of this? The Grand Minister's voice had lost its melodious quality, turning sharp as steel. Goku positioned himself between the officials of Universe 10 and the Xenos. I won't let you erase them. Not like this. Not for entertainment. You dare defy Lord Zeno. The Grand Minister's staff tapped once against the floor. The sound echoed like thunder. This isn't right, Goku replied, standing straighter. I've fought Cell, Frieza, Majin Buu, beings who destroyed because they could. I never thought I'd see the gods do the same. The Xenos looked at each other, confusion evident on their childlike faces. Is Goku being bad? Asked future Zeno. I think so, replied present Zeno, tilting his head. Should we erase him too? Goku, shouted Beerus from the stands. Stop this madness immediately. But something was happening to Goku. Ki energy began to rise around him, not the familiar blue of his Super Saiyan God form, nor the silver of Ultra Instinct. This energy shimmered gold at its core but was threaded with strands of white light that seemed to connect to everything. To every fighter in the arena. To every god in the stands. To the very fabric of reality. I challenged gods before, Goku said, his voice carrying strange harmonics. But never had to stand against what they stand for. Until now. In the Universe 6 viewing area, Sora watched with widening eyes. A Saiyan like Goku but born to Universe 6 a warrior culture, she had dismissed initially as an undisciplined fighter who relied on raw power rather than technique. Now she found herself holding her breath as he confronted the highest power in existence. Sora's hand unconscious. Sly moved to the hilt of her blade, a ceremonial weapon that marked her as champion of the Sadala Defense Forces. Her burgundy battle armor, adorned with the insignia of her elite unit, felt suddenly heavy. What is he doing? She whispered to Kaba, her fellow Saiyan warrior. Something impossible, Kaba replied, awe and terror mingling in his voice. On the arena floor, Goku continued to gather power. Memories flashed through his mind, not of battles won, but of choices made. Flying Nimbus accepting him as pure of heart. Sparing Piccolo when victory was his. Giving Cell a Senzu beam to ensure a fair fight, despite the stakes. Befriending Beerus rather than fearing him. Each memory strengthened his resolve. This wasn't about power. It was about right and wrong. I won't let you erase Universe 10, he stated. His voice carrying to every corner of the world of Void. Or any other universe that follows your rules. The Grand Minister's eyes narrowed. You presume much, mortal. Lord Zeno created these universes. They exist at his pleasure. Creating something doesn't give you the right to destroy it on a whim, Goku countered. Even I know that much. Future Zeno raised a tiny hand, energy gathering at his fingertips. No one has ever said no to us before. Present Zeno mirrored the gesture. It's not allowed. Wait. A new voice cut through the tension. All eyes turned to see a slender female Saiyan floating down from the Universe 6 viewing area. Sora's crimson cape fluttered behind her as she landed beside Goku. Lord Zeno, she said, dropping to one knee while keeping her eyes level, a warrior's bow that acknowledged authority without surrendering dignity. The Saiyan speaks wisdom. I ask that you consider his words. Her voice carried the crisp precision of Universe 6 a Sadala elite, each syllable carefully formed yet resonant with strength. Unlike Goku's rougher speech patterns, Sora's diction revealed her royal education. Who are you to join this defiance? Demanded the Grand Minister. Sora rose to her full height. I am Sora, first blade of Sadala and heir to Universe 6 Saiyan throne. I stand with Son Goku because he stands for justice. The word hung in the air like a challenge. Goku glanced at her, surprise evident in his expression. He hadn't expected allies in this moment, especially not from Universe 6. Thanks, he said simply, the corners of his mouth lifting slightly. Sora didn't return the smile. Don't misunderstand. If we survive this, I'll still defeat you in combat. But I'll do it fairly, not through erasure. Champa, Universe 6, a rotund god of destruction, clutched his head in panic. Sora, get back here immediately. You're dooming us all. No, Lord Champa, she replied without looking back. I'm Honorin. The warrior code you yourself taught me. Victory without honor is just successful slaughter. Goku's energy continued to build, creating a protective dome around Universe 10's officials. The other fighters in the arena had stopped their battles entirely now, watching the unprecedented confrontation. Perhaps, said the Grand Minister, his voice dangerously soft, a demonstration is in order. He raised his staff, pointing it not at Goku, but at Universe 7's viewing area. No, Goku shouted, instantly understanding the threat. Too late. The Grand Minister's staff flashed, and Bulma, who had been permitted to attend as an observer, began to shimmer with erasure energy. Mom! Screamed Trunks from the arena. Vegeta roared, transforming instantly to Super Saiyan Blue and launching himself toward the stands. Time slowed again for Goku. He could see the terror in Bulma's eyes, the rage in Vegeta's. He could feel the cruel calculation from the Grand Minister, testing his resolve by threatening someone he cared for. In that stretched moment, he made a decision that would forever change the multiverse. His fingers touched his forehead again, but this time, instead of physical teleportation, he reached for something deeper, the underlying connection between all things that he glimpsed while in Ultra Instinct. He focused not on moving himself, but on preventing movement, specifically, the movement of erasure energy. I said no. The words emerged as a command rather than a plea. The erasure energy around Bulma froze, then reversed, flowing back toward the Grand Minister's staff like water defying gravity. Silence fell, absolute and profound. The Grand Minister lowered his staff slowly, genuine shock visible on his face for the first time. Impossible. The Zenos looked at each other, then at Goku. He stopped it, said Present Zeno, his voice holding a note of uncertainty. No one can stop erasure. This is fun, declared Future Zeno suddenly. Goku is interesting. Present Zeno frowned. But he's breaking the rules. Maybe the rules are wrong, suggested Future Zeno. This simple statement from the Omni King himself sent a ripple of astonishment through the divine attendees. Goku didn't relax his stance. I don't want to fight you, he told the Zenos. I never want to fight anyone who doesn't want to fight me. But I can't let you erase universes for fun. What would you do instead? Asked Present Zeno, genuine curiosity in his childlike voice. Goku considered the question seriously. The tournament's a good idea. Fighting to prove who's strongest, that makes sense. But the stakes are wrong. Losers should learn and get stronger, not be erased. Boring, said Future Zeno, pouting. Is it? Goku challenged. If you erase a universe, you never get to see how strong they might become. Master Roshi taught me that there's always someone stronger out there, always more to learn. Isn't that more interesting than erasure? Something flickered in the Zenos' expressions, the first hint of doubt. The Grand Minister tapped his staff again, this time more gently. This discussion can continue later. For now, Son Goku has interfered with the tournament. He and Universe 7 must be disqualified. That's fair, Goku agreed immediately. But no erasures, not for following the rules. Vegeta landed beside him, blue aura still flaring. Kakarot, have you completely lost your mind? You're bargaining with the Omni King. Not bargaining, Goku replied. Standing up for what's right. Like you did for Bulma just now. Vegeta fell silent, unable to counter that point. Sora watched this exchange with growing fascination. In Universe 6, Saiyans had evolved as a race of honorable warriors rather than conquerors. She had heard that Universe 7's Saiyans were different, more brutal, more selfish. Yet here was Goku, risking everything not for power or glory, but for justice. Lord Zeno, the Grand Minister said carefully. What is your will? Both Zenos had been whispering to each other. They looked up in unison. We want to talk to Goku, declared present Zeno. Alone. Future Zeno nodded. Yes, alone talk. As you wish. The Grand Minister bowed deeply. Then turned to the assembled fighters and gods. The tournament of power is suspended until further notice. All participants will return to their viewing areas. Protests erupted from several universes. But the Grand Minister silenced them with a gesture. Son Goku will accompany the Omni Kings. The rest of you will wait. Goku turned to Universe 10's officials. You'll be safe now, I promise. Gawasu, still trembling, managed a bow. What you've done, no mortal has ever dared. Yeah, I get that a lot, Goku replied with unexpected lightness. First time standing up to the creator of everything. Though, that's new. Before departing, Goku faced Sora. You didn't have to stand with me. The female Saiyan's posture remained formal, but something in her crimson eyes had changed. Respect, perhaps. Or something deeper. In my universe, Saiyans have a saying, honor isn't tested in easy battles. She straightened her cape. What you did was honorable. Foolish, but honorable. Goku's familiar smile broke through the tension. Sounds like something my grandpa would say. He extended his hand. Maybe we can spar sometime. You know, if we don't get erased. Sora regarded his hand for a moment before clasping it firmly. I would welcome that opportunity. My techniques would interest you, I think. The brief contact sent a surprising charge through Bot. H. Saiyans, a recognition of kindred spirit despite their different backgrounds. Son Goku, called the Grand Minister. The Omni Kings are waiting. With a final nod to Sora, Goku placed his fingers to his forehead and vanished. The Xenos' personal chamber existed outside conventional space-time. Stars swirled in impossible patterns across walls that seemed both infinitely distant and uncomfortably close. Childish drawings adorned pedestals of cosmic material, sketches of fighters and planets alongside crudely rendered erasures. Goku stood before the twin thrones where the Xenos waited, their tiny legs dangling. Despite their diminutive appearance, the air around them bent with concentrated reality, as if existence itself orbited their whims. Goku is different now, observed present Zeno. Future Zeno floated from his throne, circling Goku with unnerving scrutiny. Yes, sparkly inside. Goku remained still, uncertain what they meant but sensing the gravity of this moment. I'm still me. I just couldn't watch universes being erased anymore. But erasure is fun, said present Zeno with genuine confusion. For you, maybe, Goku replied carefully. Not for the erased. Future Zeno returned to his throne. Head tilted in contemplation. Goku cares about strangers. Why? The question was so fundamental that it momentarily stumped Goku. How could he explain basic empathy to beings who had never needed it? Because, that's what living things do, he answered finally. We care about other living things. Even when we fight, there's respect. That's what makes a good fight different from just destroying stuff. The Xenos exchanged glances. Interesting, they said in unison. Present Zeno leaned forward. You stopped erasure. How? Goku shook his head. I don't really know. I just needed to. And somehow, I could feel how everything's connected. Even erasure energy has a pattern, and patterns can be changed. No one has ever changed erasure before, said Future Zeno. No one has ever had reason to try, Goku countered gently. A silence fell, stretching uncomfortably as the Xenos seemed to communicate without words. Finally, present Zeno spoke. We like Goku. Goku is our friend. But Goku broke the rules, added Future Zeno. Yeah, I did, admitted Goku. And I'll accept being disqualified. But I won't accept universes being erased for following the rules. Present Zeno's face scrunched in thought. What if we make new rules? New rules? Goku echoed. Future Zeno clapped his hands. Yes, rules where Goku doesn't have to break them. For the first time since the confrontation began, Goku felt a flicker of hope. I'd like that, but, said present Zeno, suddenly serious, rules need consequences. Are they boring? Goku nodded. That's fair, but consequences don't have to be erasure. They could be, I don't know, making the losing universe learn from the winning universe. Or having gods train with each other. The Xenos considered this. faces scrunched in identical expressions of concentration. "We need to think," declared future Zeno. Present Zeno nodded. "Yes, thinking time. Until then," they said together. Tournament paused. Goku bowed respectfully. "Thank you for listening." As he straightened, he noticed something odd. A faint thread of that white energy he'd manifested earlier still connected him to the Zenos, barely visible but undeniably present. Present Zeno pointed at it curiously. "Goku is connected now." "Connected to what?" Goku asked. "To everything," replied future Zeno, as if this were obvious. Before Goku could ask for clarification, reality shifted around him, and he found himself back in the tournament arena. The fighters and gods remained in their viewing areas, a tense silence hanging over the proceedings. The Grand Minister floated at the center, his placid expression betraying nothing of his thoughts. Son Goku returns. The Omni Kings have decided to suspend the Tournament of Power while they consider adjustments to the rules. Murmurs rippled through the audience. "In the meantime," continued the Grand Minister, "all participants will return to their universes. You will be summoned when a decision has been reached." Relief washed over many faces, followed quickly by uncertainty. A reprieve wasn't a pardon. Beerus stormed over to Goku, ears flat against his head in barely contained fury. "Do you have any idea what you've done? You've put everything at risk." "Everything." Whis, his angelic attendant, placed a calming hand on Beerus's shoulder. "Now, Lord Beerus, let's hear what Goku has to say. After all, he's just had a private audience with both Omni Kings and returned intact. That's unprecedented." Goku scratched the back of his head, a jest. Toure so ordinary it seemed almost comical after what he'd done. "They're thinking about changing the rules. No more erasures, I think." "You think?" Beerus sputtered. "You challenge the highest authority in existence based on, I think." "It was the right thing to do," Goku replied simply. Before Beerus could explode again, Sora approached from Universe 6's area. She moved with the fluid grace of a lifetime warrior. Each step precise yet natural. "Son Goku," she said, inclining her head slightly. "Universe 6 owes you a debt." "No debt," Goku replied with a wave of his hand. "I didn't do it for thanks." "Precisely why thanks are deserved." Her crimson eyes studied him with newfound interest. "Your approach to combat has always been unorthodox. But today you fought in a way no one anticipated. Not with fists, but with conviction." Goku rubbed the back of his neck, uncomfortable with the praise. "I just couldn't watch it anymore. Something inside me changed." "Indeed it has," came the melodious voice of the Grand Minister, who had approached unnoticed. Goku, Sora, Beerus, and Whis turned to him with varying degrees of apprehension. "The energy you manifested," the Grand Minister continued, addressing Goku, "has not been seen in 12 million years. Not since the last Harmony Bearer." "The what now?" Goku asked. The Grand Minister's expression remained unreadable. "A discussion for another time. Perhaps. For now, know that you have set forces in motion that cannot be reversed. The multiverse will respond to what you've done today, in ways even I cannot fully predict." With that cryptic warning, he turned and glided away. "Well, that wasn't ominous at all," muttered Beerus. Sora's eyes hadn't left Goku. "Whatever comes next, Universe 6 stands with you." "I stand with you. Thanks," Goku replied with genuine warmth. "Though I'm still looking forward to that spar." A ghost of a smile touched Sora's lips. "As am I, perhaps under less existentially threatening circumstances." As universes prepared to depart, Goku found himself approached by delegates from multiple teams. Some offered thanks, others wanted explanations, still others seemed simple. Why curious about the mortal who had defied gods? Through it all, Goku remained himself, straightforward, honest, uncomfortable with ceremony but unwavering in his principles. Yet something had undeniably changed. The white energy continued to shimmer faintly around him when he thought no one was looking, connecting him to everything in ways he didn't yet understand. "Kakarot," Vegeta's gruff voice cut through his thoughts. Goku turned to find his rival standing with arms crossed, expression unreadable. "What you did was reckless, foolish, and completely without strategy," Vegeta stated flatly. Goku sighed. "Yeah, I know, but... and it was exactly what I would expect from you," Vegeta continued, the faintest hint of approval creeping into his voice. Only a third-class Saiyan with no PR. Oper training would challenge the ruler of everything without a plan. I had a plan, Goku protested. Sort of. Vegeta snorted. Your plan was to hope they didn't erase you on the spot. Well, yeah. To Goku's surprise, Vegeta uncrossed his arms and extended his hand. When the consequences of your actions come, and they will come, I'll fight beside you. Not because I agree with your methods, but because. He hesitated, clearly struggling with the sentiment. Because we're friends, Goku suggested with a grin. Vegeta scowled. Because no one gets to destroy you except me. Goku laughed and clasped Vegeta's hand firmly. Fair enough. As Universe 7's team gathered for departure, Goku noticed Sora watching him from across the arena. Their eyes met briefly, an unspoken understanding passing between them. Whatever came next, bonds had formed today that transcended universal boundaries. Whis tapped his staff, creating the familiar transport sphere around Universe 7's team. As they began to ascend, Goku took a final look at the tournament arena, the site of his greatest defiance. Whis, he said quietly, what did the Grand Minister mean about a harmony bearer? The N. Gel's usually cheerful expression turned serious. It's not my place to explain, Goku. But I suspect you'll discover the answer soon enough. The question is whether the multiverse is ready for what follows. The transport sphere accelerated, carrying them back to Universe 7, leaving behind a world of void that would never be the same. Sora stood alone on the observation deck of Universe 6, a sacred world, gazing at the stars. Her formal battle armor had been replaced with simpler training attire, but she still carried herself with the rigid posture of Sadala's warrior elite. You're troubled, came a voice from behind her. She turned to find Hit, Universe 6, a legendary assassin, emerging from the shadows. His presence no longer startled her as it once had. They had developed a peculiar respect during their training for the tournament. Not troubled, she corrected. Contemplative. Hit moved to stand beside her, his ancient eyes following her gaze to the stars. About Son Goku. About many things, she replied. But yes, he factors significantly in my thoughts. He is unpredictable, Hit acknowledged. That makes him dangerous. Sora shook her head. Not dangerous. Revolutionary. There's a difference. Hit made a noncommittal sound. Revolutions have casualties. So does stagnation. Sora turned to face the assassin fully. You've lived for over 1,000 years, Hit. In all that time, has any mortal ever stood against the gods as he did? No, Hit admitted after a thoughtful pause. But there's a reason for that. Because it's suicide, or because no one else had the courage. Hit's expression remained impassive, but something shifted in his eyes. Perhaps both. Either way, Universe 6 has aligned itself with his stance. Champa is displeased. Sora permitted herself a small smile. Lord Champa is always displeased about something. This time, at least, his displeasure serves a worthy cause. And what cause is that, exactly? Justice, she replied without hesitation. The same principle that guides Sadala's warrior code. Victory must be earned, not granted by arbitrary power. Hit studied her for a long moment. You admire him. It wasn't a question, and Sora didn't treat it as one. I admire what he stands for. The man himself is an enigma. Powerful yet childlike, strategic yet impulsive, a walking contradiction. And that interests you. Sora turned back to the stars, unwilling to let the assassin read whatever might show in her expression. What interests me is surviving whatever comes next. The Grand Minister's warning wasn't subtle. No, agreed Hit. It wasn't. They stood in companionable silence for several minutes, each lost in their own thoughts. Finally, Sora spoke again. Hit, you've encountered angers I can't imagine in your long life. What would you do, if you were me? The assassin considered the question with appropriate gravity. I would prepare, not just in combat training, but in understanding. This, harmony bearer, the Grand Minister mentioned, I would learn everything about it. Knowledge is as valuable as strength in the battles to come. Sora nodded. My thoughts exactly. I've already requested access to Sadala's ancient archives. And I, said Hit, will make inquiries through my own channels. There are beings in the shadows of Universe 6 who remember things the gods would prefer forgotten. Sora gave him a grateful look. Thank you, Hit. I She stopped mid-sentence, a strange sensation washing over her. It felt as though reality itself had rippled, like a stone dropped into still water. Hit felt it too, his body tensing. Something's changed. Before either could elaborate, a portal opened in the air before them, a perfect circle of swirling energy unlike anything Sora had seen before. It wasn't the work of Vados, Universe 6's angelic attendant, nor any technique she recognized. From the portal stepped a woman of ethereal beauty, her skin pale blue and her hair flowing like liquid silver. She wore robes that seemed woven from starlight itself, and her eyes held the depth of galaxies. Sora of Sadala, the woman spoke, her voice carrying harmonics that made Sora's skin tingle. Your path has been altered by today's events. Hit moved protectively closer to Sora, but the woman raised a delicate hand. Peace, assassin. I am not here to harm, but to guide. Who are you? Sora demanded, hand instinctively moving to where her sword would normally hang. The woman's smile held ancient wisdom. I am Amara, once in training to become the angel of Universe 13. There is no Universe 13, Hit stated flatly. Not anymore, agreed Amara, sadness flickering across her features. It was the first universe erased when I questioned the hierarchy of creation. Sora's eyes widened. You defied the gods. Before Goku. In my own way, yes. Amara's gaze grew distant. And I paid the price. For millions of years, I have existed between dimensions, watching. Waiting for the prophecy to unfold. What prophecy? Sora asked, a chill running down her spine. Amara's eyes refocused, boring into Sora with unexpected intensity. When the mortal, with the heart to challenge gods awakens to the harmony, the divine order shall be tested. Those who stand with him will either remake creation, or be unmade by it. The words hung in the air like a physical weight. Son Goku, Sora whispered. Amara nodded. The awakening has begun, but it is incomplete. He will need allies. Those who understand power but are not corrupted by it. Those who value justice above obedience. Those like you, Sora of Sadala. Hit stepped forward. Why come to us? Why not go directly to Goku? Because the path to him is watched, Amara replied. The Grand Minister sees much. But even he has blind spots. Universe 6 stands in a unique position, similar enough to Universe 7 to understand it, different enough to offer new perspectives. Sora crossed her arms, considering the fallen angel's words. What exactly are you asking of me? For now, only that you prepare, Amara said. Learn what you can. Strengthen your body and mind. When the time comes, and it will come soon, you must be ready to cross the boundary between universes. To help Goku, Sora pressed. Amara's expression turned enigmatic. To help all of creation. Or what remains of it after the storm that's coming. With those ominous words, she stepped backward, the portal beginning to close around her. Wait, called Sora. How will I know when this time comes? Amara's voice drifted back as she faded from view. The harmony will call to those attuned to hear it. You'll know, Sora of Sadala. You'll know. The portal closed with a sound like a distant bell, leaving Sora and Hit alone once more. Well, said Hit after a moment of silence. That was informative. Sora shot him a look. Was it? I have more questions now than before. But you also have direction, Hit pointed out. And confirmation that your instinct to stand with Son Goku was correct. Sora turned back to the stars, her mind racing. I stood with him because it was right. Not because of prophecies or cosmic consequences. And that, said Hit with rare approval, is why you're suited for whatever comes next. As they contemplated the vastness of space, neither noticed the faint threads of white RGY that had begun to shimmer occasionally around Sora, echoes of the power Goku had manifested in the arena, reaching across the divide between universes. Goku sat cross-legged on the grassy hill outside his home, eyes closed in meditation. The technique had never come naturally to him. He preferred action to stillness, but something had changed since the tournament. The energy that had knife stead when he defied Zeno remained within him, quiet but persistent, like a melody just below the threshold of hearing. The night was peaceful, Mount Paozu's familiar sounds creating a natural symphony around him. Yet Goku's awareness extended far beyond his immediate surroundings. With each breath, he could sense the key of every living thing for miles, not just power levels as before, but the unique signature of each entity. From the smallest insect to the largest dinosaur. And beyond that, something new, threads of connection stretching outward, some ending nearby with his friends and family, others extending seemingly forever. Beyond the boundaries of Earth itself. One such thread tugged at his awareness now, a connection that felt simultaneously new and familiar. Without opening his eyes, Goku reached for it mentally, following its path across space. Sora, he murmured, surprised to find the Universe 6 Saiyan at the other end of this connection. His eyes snapped open as he realized he could sense her clearly. Despite the vast distance between universes, that shouldn't have been possible, not without the gods' permission. What's happening to me? He wondered aloud. An excellent question, came a familiar voice. Goku turned to find Whis standing a few paces away, staff in hand, his usual pleasant expression in place. Whis, how long have you been there? The angel smiled mysteriously. Long enough to observe something quite fascinating. You were projecting your consciousness across universal boundaries just now, weren't you? Goku stood, brushing grass from his GI. I guess so. I didn't mean to. It just happened. Indeed. Whis tapped his staff thoughtfully against the ground. Just as it just happened, that you were able to counter erasure energy, some thing that should be theoretically impossible for any being below the level of Grand Minister. Goku frowned. Are you here to tell me what's going on? Because I'm getting tired of cryptic hints. Actually, yes. Whis' expression turned uncharacteristically serious. Lord Beerus sent me to fetch you. The Omni Kings have made their decision regarding the tournament. All participants are being summoned to return immediately. Goku's heart skipped a beat. Did they decide about the erasures? That information hasn't been shared with us, Whis replied. But there's something else you should know before we depart. Something about what the Grand Minister called you. The Harmony Bearer, Goku recalled. What does that mean? Whis gazed up at the stars. Long ago, before the current cosmic order was established, creation operated differently. The balance between destruction and creation was maintained not by gods and angels, but by the harmony itself, a force that connected all living things across all universes. Like Ki? Goku asked. Similar, but far more profound, Whis explained. Imagine Ki as a river flowing through all living things. The harmony would be the ocean from which all rivers spring and to which they all return. Goku scratched his head. Okay, but what does that have to do with me? The harmony required vessels, mortal beings who could channel its power and maintain balance. They were called bearers. Whis turned his penetrating gaze back to Goku. The last one existed 12 million years ago, before Zeno established the current system of gods and angels. Understanding began to dawn on Goku. So when I stopped the erasure, you tapped into something ancient and powerful, Whis confirmed. Something that predates even the Grand Minister's authority. Is that bad? Whis' expression was unreadable. It's unprecedented in the current cosmic order. Whether it's bad depends entirely on what happens next. He extended his staff. Shall we go find out? Goku took a deep breath, centering himself. Whatever came next, he would face it as he always had, head on. Let's go, he said, placing his hand on Whis' back as the angel activated his transportation technique. As they accelerated toward the heavens, Goku felt those mysterious connections stretching with him, thin threads of white energy linking him to the multiverse in ways he was only beginning to understand. One thread in particular seemed to pulse stronger than the others, reaching across the divide to Universe 6. To Sora, somehow, he knew she would be there when they arrived. And somehow, that knowledge gave him strength for whatever was to come. The stars blurred around them as they headed toward the most consequential meeting of Goku's life, a confrontee. On that would either remake the multiverse or unmake the Saiyan who dared to challenge gods. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, Ripples Across Realities. The world of Void shimmered with an unusual tension as representatives from all 12 universes materialized on their respective platforms. Unlike the excitement that had preceded the Tournament of Power, a heavy silence blanketed the gathering. Gods of destruction fidgeted nervously. Supreme Kais whispered prayers, and mortal fighters stood rigid with anticipation. Goku appeared alongside Universe 7's delegation, immediately scanning the assembled crowd. His eyes found Sora among Universe 6's representatives, her crimson cape distinct against the muted colors of her companions. Their gazes locked briefly, an unspoken acknowledgement passing between them. "Attention," announced the Grand Minister, his melodious voice carrying effortlessly across the vast space. "The Omni Kings will now address the assembly." The twin Zenos appeared on their floating thrones, their childlike appearances belying the absolute power they wielded. Present Zeno leaned forward, swinging his legs casually. "We've been thinking," he began. "Lots of thinking," added future Zeno. "About Goku and the rules. And erasures and fun." The gods collectively held their breath. Beerus, standing near Goku, hissed through clenched teeth, "Whatever they say, accept it without question. Do you understand?" Quote. Goku nodded slightly but kept his attention fixed on the Omni Kings. "We decided," announced present Zeno, "the tournament of power will continue." A wave of relieved sighs swept through the assembly. "But," continued future Zeno, "with new rules." The Grand Minister stepped forward, staff in hand. "By decree of the Omni Kings, the following changes are implemented. First, universal erasure will no longer be the consequence for losing the tournament." Murmurs of surprise rippled through the crowd. Instead, the Grand Minister continued, "Losing universes will forfeit their independence for one cosmic cycle, approximately 10,000 years by mortal reckoning. During this period, they will be administered by the winning universe's god of destruction and supreme Kai. Champa, Universe 6, a rotund feline god of destruction, sputtered indignantly. "Administered? What exactly does that mean?" "It means," replied the Grand Minister with a cold smile, "that your decisions, your policies, and your very existence would be subject to approval by another universe's divine hierarchy. You would, in essence, become a protectorate. That's hardly better than erasure." Belmod, Universe 11's clown-like god of destruction, protested. The Grand Minister's expression didn't change. "The Omni Kings have spoken. This is their mercy." Goku frowned, clearly dissatisfied with this outcome. He stepped forward, drawing all eyes to him. "That doesn't seem right either," he said plainly. "Losing should be a chance to learn and get better, not a punishment." A dangerous silence fell. Gods from every universe stared at Goku in horror. Had he learned nothing from his previous defiance? The Grand Minister turned slowly to face him, the temperature seeming to drop several degrees. "You question the Omni King's decision, after they specifically modified their rules in response to your concerns." Goku stood his ground. "I'm grateful they're not erasing universes anymore. That's a big improvement. But making losers serve the winners for 10,000 years doesn't teach anything except resentment." "Interesting," exclaimed future Zeno suddenly, clapping his tiny hands. "Goku still has opinions." Present Zeno tilted his head curiously. What would Goku suggest instead? The Grand Minister's expression tightened almost imperceptibly as he stepped aside, allowing this unprecedented dialogue to continue. Goku scratched his head thoughtfully. "Well, what if losing universes had to send their best fighters and gods to train with the winning universe for a while? Not as servants, but as students. That way, everyone gets stronger, and the multiverse improves." The Zenos looked at each other, communicating silently. "We like learning," said present Zeno. "And getting stronger," added future Zeno. "It's decided," they declared in unison. The Grand Minister's staff struck the ground once, the sound reverberating like distant thunder. "Very well. Losing universes will send representatives to study under the winning universe for a period of 100 years. This arrangement will be educational rather than punitive." Relief washed over many faces. Though the Grand Minister's expression remained unreadable. "The tournament will resume in exactly one celestial day," he announced. "All participants should prepare accordingly." As the assembly began to disperse, Sora approached Goku, moving with the fluid precision that characterized her warrior training. "You continue to surprise, Son Goku," she said, her formal diction contrasting with his casual demeanor. Few would dare suggest alternatives to the Omni Kings twice in succession. Goku grinned. "I just said what made sense. Besides, it worked out better for everyone this way." "Perhaps," she replied, crimson eyes studying him intently. "Though I wonder if you realize what you've truly done." "What do you mean?" "You've demonstrated that the absolute can be questioned. That divine decree can be negotiated." Her voice lowered. "Such knowledge is revolutionary." Before Goku could respond, a commotion erupted near Universe 10's viewing area. "Rumsshi, Their elephant-headed god of destruction was engaged in a heated argument with the Grand Minister. They should have been erased. Rumsshi trumpeted. Universe 10 lost fairly. By what right does this mortal, he jabbed a thick finger toward Goku, interfere with cosmic order? The Grand Minister responded with deadly calm. Are you questioning the Omni King's decision, Lord Rumsshi? The elephant god's trunk curled in fear. And no, of course not. I merely. Good, interrupted the Grand Minister. Because it would be unfortunate if they reconsidered their mercy toward Universe 10. Rumsshi fell silent, but his glare toward Goku carried unmistakable malice. You've made enemies today, Sora observed quietly. Wouldn't be the first time, Goku replied with a shrug. Not like this. She shook her head. Gods don't forget, Son Goku. And their vengeance operates on timescales mortals can barely comprehend. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Whis. W. Ho approached with his usual serene smile. Pardon the interruption, he said with a slight bow to Sora. But Lord Beerus requests Goku's presence immediately. Is something wrong? Goku asked. Not exactly wrong, Whis replied cryptically, but certainly complicated. Goku turned to Sora. Guess we'll have to continue this later. Indeed. She inclined her head formally. Until then, Son Goku. As she turned to leave, Goku felt that strange connection between them pulse again, the white energy thread that somehow bridged the gap between universes. Sora paused mid-step, a slight widening of her eyes suggesting she'd felt it too. You feel that, don't you? Goku asked quietly. Sora turned back slowly. Yes. Since your confrontation with the Omni Kings. A connection of some kind. I don't know what it is, Goku admitted, but it seems important. Many things about you seem important lately, Son Goku. Her expression softened slightly. We should discuss this further, but privately. There are too many eyes here. Goku nodded. Find me after the tournament resumes. With a final meaningful glance, Sora rejoined her universe's delegation. Whis watched this exchange with interest. Forming inter-universal alliances, are we? Most unusual for you, Goku. It's not an alliance, Goku protested as they walked. It's just, I don't know what it is, actually. Whis' knowing smile suggested he had his own theories on the matter. Well, whatever it is, it may prove useful given what awaits us. What does that mean? What's waiting? You'll see shortly. They approached Universe 7's viewing area where Beerus paced anxiously, his tail lashing. Beside him stood Supreme Kai, wringing his hands nervously. There you are. Beerus snapped upon seeing Goku. We have a situation. What kind of situation? Goku asked. Beerus glanced around furtively before leaning closer. Universe 10's fighters and attendants, the ones you saved from erasure, they're requesting asylum in Universe 7. Asylum? What's that mean? Supreme Kai stepped forward. It means they wish to live under our protection rather than return to Universe 10. But why would they? Goku began. Then understanding dawned. Rumshi's angry about what happened. Angry is a catastrophic understatement, Beerus growled. He blames them for the embarrassment he suffered. They are what he'll do once they're back in his jurisdiction. Goku's expression hardened. So they need somewhere safe to go. It's not that simple, Supreme Kai protested. Harboring refugees from another universe violates cosmic protocols. It could be interpreted as an act of aggression against Universe 10's divine hierarchy. So we're just supposed to send them back to be punished for something that wasn't their fault? Goku demanded, his power unconsciously rising with his indignation. Calm down, Beerus ordered. Your little light show earlier was enough divine provocation for one day. Whis tapped his staff thoughtfully. There may be a solution that satisfies all parties. The Omni Kings have already demonstrated unusual flexibility regarding Goku's suggestions. Perhaps. No, Beerus cut him off. Absolutely not. He is not addressing the Omni Kings again. 3 times in one day would be suicide. Actually, came the Grand Minister's voice from directly behind them, causing all 4 to jump in surprise. The Omni Kings have already anticipated this issue. The celestial attendant stood with perfect posture, his placid smile revealing nothing of his thoughts. They find the concept of asylum intriguing, another novel mortal idea they wish to explore. They do? Supreme Kai asked weakly. Indeed. The Grand Minister turned his penetrating gaze to Goku. They have authorized the creation of a neutral zone, a pocket dimension outside normal universal jurisdiction where refugees may reside until the tournament concludes. Beerus narrowed his eyes suspiciously. That's unexpectedly accommodating. The Omni Kings are nothing if not adaptable, replied the Grand Minister smoothly. However, this zone must be administered by someone they trust. He paused meaningfully. They have selected Son Goku for this responsibility. Me. Goku pointed to himself in surprise. But I need to fight in the tournament. Your participation is not affected. The neutral zone exists outside normal time flow. You may tend to your duties there and still return for the tournament without loss of preparation time. Beerus seized Goku's arm, pulling him aside. This is a test, he hissed urgently. They're giving you responsibility to see what you'll do with it. Or a trap, Supreme Kai whispered. To keep you occupied while they plan something else. Goku considered these warnings, then looked back at the Grand Minister. I'll do it. Those people need somewhere safe, and I'm partly responsible for their situation. Excellent. The Grand Minister raised his staff. Then let us proceed to the neutral zone. The Universe 10 refugees await. The neutral zone materialized around them, a strange, luminous space that seemed both vast and intimate simultaneously. The boundaries shimmered with iridescent energy, creating the impression of standing inside an enormous soap bubble. A simple landscape had been conjured. Rolling hills, scattered trees, and a central pavilion of white stone. Gathered near the pavilion were Universe 10's survivors, the fighters who had competed in the Tournament of Power, support staff, and divine attendants including Gowasu, their elderly Supreme Kai. Son Goku, Gowasu greeted with a deep bow. We cannot adequately express our gratitude. Goku rubbed the back of his neck, uncomfortable with such formality. You don't need to thank me. I just did what anyone would do. That is precisely why thanks are due, replied Gowasu solemnly. Because what you consider ordinary action is, in the cosmic context, extraordinary courage. The Grand Minister cleared his throat delicately. I shall leave you to establish order here. The Omni Kings have provided basic accommodations, but anything further will require your own ingenuity. His eyes narrowed slightly. This experiment in asylum will be closely monitored. With that ominous reminder, he vanished, leaving Goku alone with the refugees. Murachim, the muscular monk who had been Universe 10's final fighter, approached hesitantly. Is it true? We're really safe here, as safe as I can make you, Goku promised. He glanced around the strange dimension. Though I'm still figuring out how this place works. It's a closed temporal loop, explained Gowasu, gesturing to the shimmering boundaries. A bubble of space-time separated from normal universal flow. We could spend years here while only moments pass outside. That's convenient, Goku observed. But why would the Omni Kings set this up for us? Gowasu exchanged troubled glances with his attendants. That, Son Goku, is the question that concerns us most. Before their discussion could continue, the dimensional boundary rippled. All eyes turned to watch as a figure stepped through, the slender form of Sora. Her crimson cape billowing behind her despite the still air. Sora. Goku blinked in surprise. How did you find this place? The female Saiyan warrior approached with measured steps. I followed our connection. She tapped her temple meaningfully. The energy thread between us led me here once I understood how to perceive it. Is that even possible? Gowasu wondered aloud, studying Sora with newfound interest. Apparently so, she replied coolly. Though I suspect few others could manage it. The nature of the connection is unique. Goku sensed there was something she wasn't saying, information she was reluctant to share in front of the others. What brings you here, Sora? Something wrong with Universe 6. Not precisely wrong, but potentially useful to your situation. She surveyed the assembled refugees. Universe 6 contains several locations unknown even to Lord Champa, sanctuaries established by my Saiyan ancestors during the God Wars. God Wars? Goku echoed. I've never heard of those. Few have. The divine hierarchy ensured those events were purged from most historical records. Her eyes flashed with something like rebellion. But Sadala's royal archives preserved the knowledge. These sanctuaries were designed to shield mortals from divine conflict, hidden dimensions similar to this one, but anchored within Universe 6 itself. Gowasu stepped forward eagerly. Such sanctuaries could provide additional safety for our people if this neutral zone proves insufficient. Exactly my thinking, Sora nodded. I've come to offer access to these locations. Should the need arise. Goku studied her with newfound appreciation. That's generous of you, but won't Champa be angry if he finds out? A ghost of a smile touched Sora's lips. What Lord Champa doesn't know won't enrage him. Won't the Grand Minister notice if people start disappearing from here? Murachim asked nervously. Not necessarily, Sora replied. The sanctuaries operate on principles similar to this neutral zone. They exist in dimensional folds that obscure their contents from divine perception. It's why they survived the God Wars. Goku scratched his head. I don't understand all this dimensional stuff, but having a backup plan makes sense. Indeed, agreed Gowasu. Though I wonder, young Saiyan, what motivates such generosity toward those not of your universe? Sora's expression remained carefully neutral, though her eyes flickered briefly toward Goku. Let's say I have a vested interest in defying unjust authority, regardless of universal boundaries. Something in her tone suggested deeper motivations, but before Goku could pursue the matter, the dimensional boundary rippled again. This time, however, the disturbance felt different, violent, intrusive. Something's coming, Goku warned, dropping into a fighting stance. Sora unsheathed her blade, a slender weapon of unusual metal that glowed with faint blue energy. Not something, someone. The boundary tore open with a sound like reality itself being shredded. Through the jagged opening stepped three figures that radiated divine energy yet seemed fundamentally wrong, like distorted reflections of celestial beings. Their bodies were humanoid but composed of shifting, metallic surfaces that reflected light in impossible ways. Where faces should be, they had smooth, featureless masks with a single vertical line down the center. They moved with perfect synchronization, an unsettling harmony to their fluid motions. Executioners, whispered Gowasu in horror, backing away. I thought they were merely legends. What are executioners? Goku asked, not taking his eyes off the intruders. The Omni King's enforcers, Sora replied grimly. Created to implement divine will and even gods of destruction prove insufficient. The central executioner raised a gleaming arm that morphed into something resembling a staff. When it spoke, its voice resonated from everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. Son Goku of Universe 7. You have disrupted cosmic hierarchy. This dimensional aberration will be corrected. I was given permission to create this sanctuary, Goku protested. By the Omni Kings themselves. Permission granted under duress is invalid, the executioner responded. The balance must be restored. Sora moved to stand beside Goku, her blade leveled at the intruders. They're not here to negotiate, Goku. They're here to correct what they perceive as an error in cosmic order. By doing what? Erasing everyone here. Precisely, she confirmed, eyes narrowing. The Grand Minister mentioned monitoring. This is likely their version of a test, to see how you respond to direct opposition. Goku's expression hardened. Then I'll show them exactly how I respond. Without warning, he transformed directly into Super Saiyan Blue, the sudden explosion of divine ki causing the dimensional boundaries to fluctuate wildly. The refugees scattered, taking shelter behind the white stone pavilion. The executioners spread out in perfect formation, their metallic bodies shifting to create weapons, one forming blade-like appendages, another developing whip-like tendrils. The third maintaining its staff configuration. Sora, get everyone back. Goku called, gathering energy between his palms. I'll handle this. I think not, she replied coolly, her own ki flaring around her blade. Universe 6 Saiyans don't cower while others fight our battles. Before Goku could argue, the executioners attacked in perfect unison, a synchronized assault from 3D. Rections that would have overwhelmed most fighters instantly. Goku vanished, reappearing behind the staff wielder and launching a powerful kick that should have sent it flying. Instead, his leg passé through its body as if through mercury, the metallic surface rippling before reforming. Physical attacks don't work, he shouted in warning. Sora discovered this simultaneously as her blade sliced harmlessly through the whip wielder's torso. The creature's appendages lashed out in response, wrapping around her arm with crushing force. Energy attacks, she called back, her free hand forming. A concentrated ki blast that she drove directly into her attacker's featureless face. This had effect. The executioner's metallic surface destabilized momentarily, forcing it to release her. Goku immediately adjusted his strategy, firing a rapid series of Kamehameha waves that struck the staff wielder repeatedly. Each blast disrupted its form temporarily, but it reconstituted with unsettling speed. "They're not living beings," Gawasu called from behind the pavilion. "They're divine constructs, pure and forced will given form. Then how do we stop them?" Goku demanded, narrowly avoiding the blade wielder's attack. "You don't," came a new voice, melodious yet firm. All combatants paused as a rift opened in the center of the battlefield. Through it stepped a woman of ethereal beauty, her SK. In pale blue and her hair flowing like liquid silver. She wore robes woven from what appeared to be starlight, and her eyes held the depth of galaxies. "Amara," Sora breathed in recognition. The woman raised a delicate hand, and the executioners froze in place as if time itself had stopped for them alone. "These constructs cannot be destroyed by conventional means," she stated calmly. "They are manifestations of divine authority, emblems rather than entities." Goku lowered his hands cautiously, studying the newcomer. "Who are you?" "She is Amara," Sora explained, sheathing her blade. "A foe. RMER angel in training who questioned cosmic hierarchy." Amara inclined her head slightly. A succinct and accurate introduction. "I was once being groomed to serve Universe 13 as its celestial attendant." Universe 13. Goku frowned. "But there are only 12 universes." "Now, yes." A shadow passed over Amara's perfect features. "There were originally 18. 6 were erased when their development displeased the Omni Kings. Including yours," Goku guessed. "Indeed." Amara's gaze turned to the frozen executioners. "I questioned the erasure's necessity. For this transgression, I was stripped of angelic status and banished to the space between dimensions." Gawasu approached cautiously. "The legends speak of a rebellious angel, but I never imagined meeting such a being." "Legends are history sanitized for divine consumption," Amara replied with a hint of bitterness. "But we have more pressing concerns than my past. These executioners are merely the first wave. Your defiance has ancient protocols within the celestial bureaucracy. Can you help us fight them?" Goku asked directly. Amara's lips curved in a slight smile. "I cannot fight them directly. My diminished status prevents direct opposition to divine will. But I can teach you how to neutralize their influence." She glided forward with inhuman grace, placing a cool hand on Goku's forehead. "The power Yuma knife. Stead when confronting Zeno, the energy humans might call white light, is the key. It's known in celestial circles as harmony energy." At her touch, Goku felt the threads of white energy within him respond, flaring briefly visible around his body. "Yes," Amara murmured, "the harmony recognizes you as its bearer. This is why the divine hierarchy fears you, Son Goku. Not because of your impressive but ultimately limited martial prowess, but because you've awakened something they believed safely dormant for 12 million years." The harmony bearer, Goku recalled the Grand Minister's words. Whis mentioned something about that, but he didn't explain what it meant. "Because full angels are forbidden from discussing it with mortals." Amara withdrew her hand. "I, however, am no longer bound by such restrictions." She turned to address everyone present. "The harmony is the fundamental connective force of all creation, what existed before the current cosmic order was established. While Ki is the energy of life, harmony is the energy of existence itself. It connects all things across all universal boundaries." "Is that what I've been feeling?" Goku asked. "These connections to people and places?" "Yes. As the harmony awakens within you, your consciousness expands beyond normal limitations." She gestured to Sora. "Your connection to her is particularly strong because she too is a resonance with the harmony, a complementary frequency, if you will." Sora's eyes widened slightly. "Is that why I could find this place by following our connection?" Amara nodded. "Precisely. And it is why you must both learn to control these emerging abilities quickly." She glanced at the frozen executioners. "My intervention has bought us time, but it is temporary. When these constructs report their failure, more powerful enforcers will follow. Then teach us," Goku said decisively. "Whatever this harmony thing is, if it can help protect these people, I want to learn it." As do I, Sora added, moving to stand beside him. Amara studied them both with ancient eyes that seemed to perceive layers of reality invisible to others. Very well, but understand this. Embracing the harmony is not without cost. It will change you in ways you cannot anticipate. Will it make me stronger? Goku asked. A mysterious smile touched Amara's lips. Strength will be the least of the gifts it offers, son Goku. And perhaps the least important. Deep within the celestial palace that existed beyond all universes, the Grand Minister stood perfectly still, observing multiple viewing portals that showed different aspects of reality. One portal displayed Goku and Sora training under Amara's guidance in the neutral zone. Another showed the Tournament of Power Arena, suspended in temporal stasis until the competition resumed. A third, smaller portal revealed something more troubling, a shadowy realm where fragments of erased universes somehow persisted, neither fully existing nor completely gone. Fascinating developments, he murmured to himself. The harmony manifests a bearer after 12 million years, and simultaneously, erasure degradation accelerates in the void. Coincidence seems improbable. What are you mumbling about? Came the childlike voice of present Zeno. The Grand Minister turned smoothly, closing the third portal with a subtle gesture before bowing deeply. Merely observing the mortal Goku's activities, my lord. Both Zenos floated into the chamber, their tiny forms belying their absolute authority. Is Goku having fun in his special place? Asked future Zeno. He appears to be rather busy, replied the Grand Minister carefully. He has encountered some unexpected challenges. Present Zeno tilted his head. You mean the executioners you sent? The Grand Minister's placid expression revealed nothing. A necessary test, my lord. To evaluate his commitment to this new path he's chosen. We didn't say to send executioners, future Z. Ino pointed out with childlike directness. Indeed not, my lord. I took the initiative, believing it served your interests to understand the full extent of Son Goku's capabilities. The Zenos exchanged glances, communicating in their mysterious way. We like Goku, declared present Zeno. He's interesting. More interesting now with the sparkly light, added future Zeno. The Grand Minister's eyes narrowed fractionally. Yes, that particular development warrants close observation. The energy he manifests resembles something from the pre-recreation epoch. From before us, present Zeno asked, genuine curiosity in his voice. Not before your existence, my lord, but before the current configuration of the multiverse was established, the Grand Minister clarified smoothly. Future Zeno floated closer to the viewing portal showing Goku. We remember. The shiny people who talked too much. The harmony bearers, yes, confirmed the Grand Minister. They served their purpose in maintaining balance during the formative eons. But became problematic. Hence the implementation of the current divine hierarchy under your supreme authority. But now Goku has the shiny light, present Zeno observed. Indeed he does. The Grand Minister acknowledged, his tone carefully neutral. Which presents us with both opportunity and concern. Concern, echoed future Zeno. The Grand Minister gestured to the portal, where Goku was now practicing manipulating threads of white energy under Amara's guidance. Harmony energy operates according to principles that predate current cosmic law. It connects all things directly, bypassing established hierarchies. Like when Goku stopped erasure. Present Zeno asked. Precisely, my lord. Such capabilities, if fully developed, could potentially, he paused, selecting his words carefully, complicate the implementation of your will across the multiverse. The Zenos considered this, their childlike faces scrunched in concentration. But erasing Goku would be boring, complained future Zeno. Present Zeno nodded vigorously. Very boring. Goku makes things exciting. I would never presume to suggest erasure, my lords, the Grand Minister assured them. Merely close observation and perhaps guidance to ensure this power develops in harmony with your authority rather than in opposition to it. Good idea. Present Zeno clapped his tiny hands. We want to watch Goku get stronger. But not too stronger, added future Zeno with surprising insight. Not stronger than us. The Grand Minister bowed deeply. Of course not, my lord. No entity could surpass your absolute authority. Yet as the Zenos floated away, chattering excitedly about the tournament's resumption, the Grand Minister's eyes returned to the viewing port. Where Amara was now demonstrating a complex manipulation of harmony energy to her attentive students. Curious, he murmured. After millions of years in isolation, she chooses this moment to emerge. One must wonder what the former angel of Universe 13 truly seeks. With a subtle gesture, he opened a new portal, this one showing a dark, indistinct realm where a feminine figure moved through swirling shadows, collecting what appeared to be fragments of light. And what role you might play, remnant of Universe 12, he added softly, watching the mysterious woman who would soon enter Goku's expanding circle of allies. Vegeta stood alone on a rocky outcropping in the neutral zone, arms crossed as he observed Goku's training from a distance. The Saiyan Prince had arrived an hour earlier, reluctantly agreeing to join what he derisively called Kakarot's Cosmic Rebellion. Absolutely ridiculous, he muttered to himself. First he challenges the Omni Kings, now he's learning mystic energy manipulation from a fallen angel. Has he no sense of self-preservation? Yet despite his complaints, Vegeta couldn't deny the impressive display before him. Goku and Sora stood opposite each other, threads of white harmony energy visibly connecting them as they practiced transferring power back and forth. Between them, Amara provided guidance with elegant gestures of her celestial hands. Quite the spectacle, isn't it? Came a soft voice from beside him. Vegeta turned sharply to find Gawasu, Universe 10's elderly Supreme Kai, standing nearby. When did you? He began, then scowled. Don't sneak up on me, Kai. Gawasu smiled apologetically. Forgive me. Supreme Kais naturally move with little disturbance to their surroundings. Vegeta grunted noncommittally, returning his attention to the training session. You disapprove of this development? Gawasu asked perceptively. I disapprove of unnecessary risks, Vegeta replied. Kakarot's always chasing the next level of power without considering consequences. And yet you're here, Gawasu observed. Standing with him despite your misgivings. Vegeta's scowl deepened. Someone needs to ensure he doesn't destroy reality with his recklessness. A noble justification, the Supreme Kai replied with gentle skepticism. Though perhaps not your only motivation. Before Vegeta could deliver a scathing retort, a flash of light drew their attention to the training ground. Goku had successfully manifested a sphere of pure harmony energy, a swirling orb of white light threaded with golden strands. Unlike Ki, which radiated outward, this energy seemed to connect inward, creating visible links to everything in its vicinity. Remarkable, breathed Gawasu. I've only read about such phenomena in the most ancient texts. Harmony manipulation was thought lost with the previous cosmic epic. What exactly is this? Harmony, power? Vegeta demanded. How does it differ from God Ki? Fundamentally, Gawasu explained, quote, God Ki is still energy of individual will, more refined than mortal Ki, but similar in principle. Harmony energy is connective rather than projective. It doesn't exert force, it establishes resonance. That sounds thoroughly useless in combat, Vegeta scoffed. Gawasu's eyes twinkled with ancient wisdom. Does it? Consider what Son Goku accomplished with his first unconscious use of it. He negated erasure energy. Something even gods of destruction cannot do. This gave Vegeta pause. He watched as Sora now attempted to create her own harmony sphere, achieving a smaller but equally stable manifestation. The connection between her and Goku pulsed visibly stronger as their energies synchronized. The female Saiyan has talent, Vegeta observed grudgingly. Indeed she does, agreed Gawasu. Universe 6 Saiyans evolved differently than those of Universe 7. Where your race developed overwhelming offensive power, theirs cultivated precision and harmony with their life force. Vegeta's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. So this power comes more naturally to her. In some respects, yes. Yet Son Goku's intuitive understanding of energy gives him unique advantages as well. Gawasu studied the Saiyan Prince with surprising perception. You're wondering if you could master it too. Nonsense, Vegeta snapped, too quickly. I have no interest in mystical light shows. Gawasu merely smiled. As you say, Prince Vegeta. Down in the training area, Goku had noticed Vegeta's arrival. He called out cheerfully, Hey, Vegeta. Come join us. This harmony stuff is amazing. Vegeta crossed his arms tighter. I'll pass, Kakarot. Some of us are focusing on the actual tournament. Sora looked up, her crimson eyes assessing Vegeta with professional interest. The Prince of Universe 7 Saiyans, I presume. Your reputation precedes you, as does yours, Sora of Sadala, Vegeta replied formally. Though I didn't expect to find the heir to Universe 6 Saiyan throne participating in, whatever this is. Cosmic revolution, she said with surprising directness. Or haven't you been paying attention? Amara stepped forward, her ethereal presence commanding immediate attention. Prince Vegeta's caution is understandable. The path we walk challenges 12 million years of established cosmic order. And you're suggesting we follow it based on what evidence? Vegeta challenged. The fallen angel's expression remained serene. Based on the evidence of your own experience, Prince. You've witnessed the casual erasure of entire universes for entertainment. You've seen the fear that absolute power without accountability engenders even among gods. And you've observed firsthand how a single act of principled defiance has already begun changing that system. Vegeta fell silent, unable to counter these points. Goku approached, the white energy still shimmering faintly around him. Vegeta, I know this isn't your usual style. But what we're learning here could protect everyone, not just now, but from whatever comes next. And what exactly is coming next, Kakarot? Vegeta demanded. Have you thought that far ahead? Actually, yes, Goku replied, surprising everyone with his seriousness. When the tournament resumes, I'm going to fight with everything I've got to win it properly. No more interruptions, no more challenges to the Omni Kings. And after that, Vegeta pressed, go. Whose expression turned unusually thoughtful. After that depends on whether the Omni Kings keep their word about the new rules. If they do, great. If not, he glanced at Amara, then we'll need every advantage we can get. Vegeta studied his rival carefully, noting subtle changes in his demeanor. Kakarot had always been a gifted fighter with the strategic mind of a battle genius, but long-term planning had never been his strong suit. Something was different now, a new depth of awareness in his eyes, a more measured quality to his speech. The harmony is changing you, Vegeta observed quietly. Yeah, Goku acknowledged. I can feel it. It's like, I'm still me, but more connected to everything. I can sense things across universes now, Vegeta. It's incredible. Sora moved to stand beside Goku, her formal posture contrasting with his relaxed stance. The change affects all who work with harmony energy. My perception has expanded similarly, though perhaps not to the same degree as Son Goku's. That's because you're approaching it differently, Amara explained. Sora connects through discipline and precision, following the pathways of harmony with careful attention. Goku surrenders to the connection instinctively, allowing it to flow through him without resistance. Different methods, complementary results, Sora concluded. Which is why we train together. Something in her tone caught Vegeta's attention, a subtle warmth when she referenced Goku that hadn't been present before. He glanced between the two Saiyans, noting the easy way they occupied each other's space despite their vastly different backgrounds. Interesting, he murmured, too softly for the others to hear. Gawasu, however, nodded slightly, having noticed the same dynamic. Prince Vegeta, Amara addressed him directly. While you may not wish to participate in harmony training, there is another way you could assist our efforts. And that would be intelligence, she replied simply. When you return to Universe 7, observe the reactions of the divine hierarchy. The gods will speak more freely in your presence than in Goku's. Vegeta considered this. You're asking me to spy on Beerus and Whis. I'm suggesting you pay attention to information that might prove vital to our survival, Amara corrected gently. The Grand Minister has already deployed executioners. His next move will likely be more subtle. And more dangerous, added Gawasu gravely. A tense silence fell as everyone considered the implications. Finally, Vegeta uncrossed his arms. Fine, he said curtly. I'll keep my eyes and ears open. But not because I'm joining your rebellion, Kakarot. I'm simply ensuring Universe 7 doesn't pay the price for your defiance. Goku grinned. Thanks, Vegeta. I knew I could count on you. Don't push it, the prince warned, but without his usual venom. Their discussion was interrupted by a sudden ripple in the dimensional boundary, different from the violent intrusion of the executioners. More like a gentle request for entry. Someone's coming, Sora observed, hand moving to her sword hilt. A friend, Amara assured them, raising a hand in welcome as the boundary parted. Through the opening stepped a slender woman with pale skin and hair the color of midnight. She wore a form-fitting bodysuit of gunmetal gray, accented with circuitry-like patterns that pulsed with soft blue light. A visor of similar technology partially obscured her face, displaying constantly shifting data. "Corey," Sora greeted with evident surprise. "I didn't expect to see you here." The newcomer pushed her visor up, revealing strikingly intelligent eyes of deep violet. When Universe 6's elite Saiyan warrior disappears without explanation, it raises questions. Her voice carried the precise diction of a scientist. Each word carefully measured, particularly when unusual energy signatures are detected across universal boundaries. "You tracked the harmony energy," Amara observed, impressed. Corey inclined her head slightly. "I modified quantum resonance detectors to isolate the frequency. Though I confess, I expected to find spatial anomalies, not a pocket dimension filled with refugees and," she paused. Eyes falling on Goku, the catalyst himself. "You know who I am?" Goku asked, surprised. "Son Goku, primary instigator of multiverse-level paradigm shift," Corey replied matter-of-factly. "Your defiance of the Omni Kings has created ripple effects through all 12 universes. In Universe 3, our scientific community is particularly fascinated by the metaphysical implications." She approached, studying him with undisguised scientific curiosity. "May I?" she asked, raising a small device from her wrist. Sure," Goku agreed, not entirely clear what he was consenting to. Corey activated the device, which emitted a soft hum as it scanned him. "Remarkable. Your cellular structure is integrating harmony resonance at a submolecular level. The energy isn't merely flowing through you, you're becoming a conduit for it. Is that good or bad?" Goku asked. "Unprecedented," Corey replied, which wasn't quite an answer. She turned to Sora. "You show similar integration, though at an earlier stage." "Fascinating." Vegeta stepped forward impatiently. "Who exactly are you, and why should we trust your presence here?" "Corey is Universe 3's leading expert in trans-dimensional physics," Sora explained. "We collaborated during scientific exchange programs between our universes. And I'm here," Corey added, deactivating her scanner, "because what's happening transcends universal boundaries. The energy signature I detected suggests a fundamental shift in cosmic equilibrium, exactly the phenomenon my research predicted might follow excessive use of erasure power." Amara's eyes widened slightly. "You've been studying erasure degradation. Among other cosmic constants, yes." Corey adjusted her visor, which displayed complex equations. "My models indicate that each universal erasure creates microfractures in the dimensional membrane separating existence from non-existence. These fractures accumulate, potentially leading to catastrophic failure." "In normal speech, please," Vegeta demanded. Corey sighed. "The Omni King's casual erasures are damaging reality itself. If the pattern continues, eventually the damage will be irreparable." A heavy silence fell as everyone processed this information. "So when I stopped them from erasing Universe 10, Goku began. You may have prevented the fracture system from reaching critical threshold," Corey confirmed. "Though my data suggests the damage already done remains problematic. This aligns with what I've observed from the void between dimensions," Amara said quietly. "The erased universes don't truly cease to exist. They fragment into the void, creating instability." Goku frowned. "But if erased universes still exist somehow, couldn't they be restored?" Corey and Amara exchanged meaningful glances. "Theoretically," Corey began cautiously. "With sufficient harmony energy, yes," Amara finished. "Though such an undertaking would require multiple bearers working in concert, far more power than you and Sora currently command." "But it's possible," Goku pressed. "Restoration of erased universes would constitute direct reversal of the Omni King's will," Gawasu warned. "The consequences would be severe. More severe than allowing reality to fracture," Corey challenged. Vegeta rubbed his temples in evident frustration. "Wonderful. We've gone from tournament fighters to cosmic evolutionaries to reality repairmen in the span of a day." Goku, however, had grown surprisingly thoughtful. "If erased universes can be restored, that means all those people aren't really gone. They're just waiting to be brought back." Quote, "A poetic if imprecise interpretation," Corey noted. "But essentially correct. Then we have to try," Goku said with characteristic determination. "After the tournament, once everything's settled with the Omni Kings, Kakarot, Have you lost what little mind you possessed? Vegeta exploded. You barely survived challenging their tournament rules. Now you want to directly reverse their erasures. Not immediately, Goku clarified. First we need to get stronger with this harmony energy. And we need more people who can use it. Your optimism is as excessive as your power. Corey observed dryly. Though my research does suggest the harmony responds to powerful emotional drivers, particularly compassion and justice. Your motivation to restore erased beings might actually accelerate your development as a bearer. Sora had been quiet during this exchange, her expression unreadable. Now she stepped forward. Universe 6 will stand with Universe 7 in this endeavor. You speak for your entire universe now. Vegeta asked skeptically. I speak for Sadala, and Sadala leads Universe 6 in matters of principle, she replied with quiet authority. My people understand the concept of balanced opposition to unjust power. Corey adjusted her visor again. Universe 3 contributes our scientific resources. This collaboration presents unprecedented research opportunities. And Universe 10 owes Son Goku its continued existence, added Gowasu. Our support is unequivocal. Vegeta looked from face to face, then threw up his hands in exasperation. Fine. Universe 7 joins your cosmic insanity. But when this inevitably explodes in our faces, remember that I predicted it. Goku clapped him on the shoulder with a grin. That's the spirit, Vegeta. Get your hand off me before I remove it, the prince growled, but without real heat. Amara watched this exchange with something like amusement softening her celestial features. It seems the harmony already works through you. Son Goku, uniting diverse allies toward a common purpose. I just do what feels right, Goku replied simply. Always have. Perhaps that's why the harmony chose you, Amara suggested. Your instinctive alignment with its fundamental nature. Before Goku could respond, a tremendous pressure suddenly filled the pocket dimension. The boundaries shimmered violently, and the artificial sky darkened to an ominous purple. It seems our time of preparation has ended, Amara observed calmly. The Grand Minister has noticed our gathering. The center of the dimension tore open, revealing not the Grand Minister himself but a viewing portal through which his face was visible. Son Goku, his melodious voice carried an undercurrent of steel. Your sanctuary was granted for refugee protection, not conspiracy. Goku stepped forward. There's no conspiracy here, just friends trying to understand what's happening. Friends from 4 different universes, including a fallen angel who violated cosmic law. The Grand Minister's eyes narrowed. Your definition of no conspiracy is creative, as communication between universes forbidden. Sora challenged, moving to stand beside Goku. When it involves teaching forbidden techniques and discussing restoration of erased realms. Yes, quite explicitly. The Grand Minister's gaze shifted to Amara. Your presence is particularly disappointing. Amara met his gaze without flinching. I no longer serve the celestial hierarchy, Father. I follow the harmony's directive. Father. Goku looked between them in surprise. All angels are my children. The Grand Minister confirmed, including those who fell from grace. His attention returned to Goku. The tournament of power resumes in 1 celestial hour. August, you focus your energy on legal competition rather than interdimensional conspiracy. The portal began to close, but not before the Grand Minister added, and Son Goku. The Omni King's patience, while surprising in its extent, is not infinite. Remember that. The portal sealed with a sound like thunder, leaving a charged silence in its wake. Well, Corey said finally, that was informative. He's monitoring harmony energy signatures but can't directly perceive our activities here without creating a viewing portal. How do you know that? Vegeta demanded. Because otherwise he would have heard our entire conversation. Not just the parts about restoration, she explained. The pocket dimension shields us from passive observation, but active intervention still penetrates. Goku turned to Amara. He's your father. You never mentioned that. All celestial beings share that connection, she replied carefully. Though, father, describes the relationship imperfectly by human standards. The important point, Sora interjected, is that our activities are now unquestionably on the Grand Minister's radar. The tournament provides temporary protection since the Omni Kings are focused on it, but afterward. We should expect more direct opposition, Gowasu finished gravely. Goku nodded, his expression resolute. Then we better make the most of the time we have. Amara, can you teach us more advanced harmony techniques before the tournament? Yes, she confirmed. Though true mastery requires months of practice, not hours. I can assist with energy synchronization, Corey offered. My devices can accelerate the learning process by providing real-time feedback on harmony fluctuations. Sora unsheathed her blade, which glowed with a mixture of her native ki and the new harmony energy. And I can demonstrate combat applications, which will be essential if we face more executioners. As they prepared to resume training with new urgency, Vegeta moved closer to Goku. Kakarot, he said quietly. You realize there's no turning back now. The Grand Minister sees you as a direct threat to cosmic order. Yeah, Goku acknowledged, watching as Sora aided an elegant kata that wove harmony energy through her sword forms. But sometimes you have to stand your ground, even when the odds are impossible. Vegeta followed his gaze, noting the admiratio in Goku's eyes as they tracked Sora's movements. At least you're not facing those odds alone, he observed dryly. Goku smiled. That's what makes us stronger than gods, Vegeta. They stand above everything. We stand together. For once, the Saiyan Prince had no sarcastic retort. Instead, he simply nodded, watching as representatives from 4 universes worked together in defiance of cosmic law. Perhaps, he thought grudgingly, Kakarot's madness was contagious after all. The Tournament of Power arena gleamed under the void's strange light as fighters from the remaining universes took their positions. The atmosphere had changed noticeably. Where before there had been desperate determination to avoid erasure, now there was professional focus on victory for its own sake. Goku stood with Universe 7's team, his GI repaired and his expression serene despite the turmoil of recent events. Beside him, Vegeta maintained his usual scowl, though his eyes constantly scanned the divine viewing areas. Remember the plan, Beerus hissed from behind them. Win the tournament legitimately. No more cosmic rebellions. Got it, Goku agreed easily. Just straight fighting from here on out. His eyes found Sora among Universe 6 fighters. Though they stood as opponents now, the connection between them pulsed with shared purpose. She inclined her head slightly, a gesture he returned. On the floating platform above, the Grand Minister raised his staff. The Tournament of Power will now resume with adjusted rules as decreed by the Omni Kings. Fighters, take your positions. As the competitors spread across the arena, Goku felt a familiar presence approaching. Hit, Universe 6 a legendary assassin. Son Goku, Hit acknowledged with his characteristic stoicism. Hit, Goku replied warmly. Looking forward to fighting you again. The assassin's expression remained impassive, but his eyes conveyed deeper meaning. Sora has explained recent developments. Universe 6 stands with your principles, if not your methods. This was surprising news. Even Champa? Goku asked skeptically. A ghost of a smile touched Hit's lips. Lord Champa remains uninformed of certain details. Ut Vados has shown unusual interest in your activities. Before Goku could pursue this intriguing information, the Grand Minister's staff struck the ground. Begin, he announced. The arena erupted into action as fighters resumed their battles. Goku and Hit exchanged a final knowing look before leaping in opposite directions, maintaining the appearance of universal rivalry. As Goku engaged Universe 4's remaining fighters, he couldn't help noticing how differently he perceived the battle now. The harmony energy within him responded to each combatant uniquely, revealing aspects of their nature beyond physical power. He could sense their motivations, their fears, their driving purposes, information that made his combat responses more precise and effective. From the corner of his eye, he spotted Sora engaged with Toppo from Universe 11. Her fighting style had evolved since their training, incorporating subtle harmony manipulations that seemed to anticipate her opponent's movements. Her blade, now constantly shimmering with white gold energy, left traces of light in the air as it moved. Across the arena, Vegeta battled Universe 2's love warriors with his usual ferocity, though Goku noted the prince occasionally glancing toward the Omni King's viewing platform with barely disguised suspicion. The tournament proceeded with impressive displays of power and technique, yet an underlying current of change was palpable to those aware of it. Something fundamental had shifted in the multiverse, not just in the rules of competition, but in the very nature of cosmic authority. As Fig, HTERS were eliminated and the arena gradually emptied, Goku found himself facing Jiren of Universe 11, the meditation-focused warrior whose power had impressed him from the start. "Son Goku," Jiren acknowledged, his deep voice carrying across the battered arena. "You've changed since our last encounter." "You can tell," Goku asked, dropping into his fighting stance. "Your energy has evolved." Jiren's penetrating gaze seemed to see through surface appearances. "It resonates differently now, more harmoniously." Goku smiled. "You might be the only fighter who noticed that. I seek truth through meditation." Jiren replied simply, "And the truth I perceive in you now is intriguing." Without further preamble, Jiren attacked with devastating speed and power. Goku responded instinctively, his body flowing into Ultra Instinct as naturally as breathing. But now, the silver-white aura of that form intermingled with threads of harmony energy, creating something new, a state beyond even the perfected Ultra Instinct he had previously achieved. Their battle transcended ordinary combat, each exchange revealing deeper insights about both fighters. Through the harmony connection, Goku perceived Jiren's driving motivation, his desperate search for strength born from profound loss and betrayal. "You fight to prove justice requires absolute power," Goku observed between exchanges, his voice carrying no judgment. Jiren hesitated fractionally, surprised by this insight. "Power is the only absolute in any universe. Everything else is illusion." "I used to think strength was everything too," Goku replied, evading a devastating punch by millimeters. "But there's something beyond power, Jiren. Something that connects everything, even across universes." Their battle intensified, Jiren pushing himself to new heights as if trying to disprove Goku's words through sheer force. The arena cracked beneath them, energy waves distorting the very air. In the viewing stands, gods and mortals alike watched in awe as the two fighters demonstrated power approaching divine levels. But those with deeper perception, Whis, Vados, and certain supreme Kais, noticed something more significant. The white gold energy occasionally visible around Goku was affecting reality itself, creating momentary connections between separated universes. "Fascinating," Whis murmured. "He's unconsciously thinning the barriers between realms." Vados nodded slightly. "The harmony seeks reunification. It always has." Their cryptic exchange went unnoticed as all attention remained fixed on the battle below. Goku and Jiren had reached a stalemate, their powers so evenly matched that neither could gain decisive advantage. Then Goku did something unexpected. Rather than escalating his power further, he allowed the harmony energy to flow outward, creating visible connections between himself and Jiren, threads of white gold light that bridged the space between them. "What is this?" Jiren demanded, momentarily backing away. "Connection," Goku replied simply. "The truth you've been seeking through meditation. We're all connected, Jiren, across universes, across time, across everything." For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Jiren's stoic features. The harmony energy responded to this emotional shift, the connecting threads brightening. "Your loss, your pain, I can feel it," Goku continued softly. "And you can feel mine. That's what the harmony shows us." In the divine viewing area, the Grand Minister's eyes narrowed. "This demonstration exceeds acceptable parameters," he murmured, raising his staff slightly. But Present Zeno raised a tiny hand. "Wait, it's pretty." "Yes, sparkly," agreed Future Zeno. The Grand Minister lowered his staff reluctantly. "As you wish, my lords." On the arena floor, something remarkable was happening. The harmony connection between Goku and Jiren had expanded, revealing shared experiences despite their different universes, the loss of loved ones, the search for meaning through strength, the lonely path of exceptional power. "This changes nothing," Jiren insisted, though his voice lacked conviction. "A battle must have a victor." "Yeah," Goku agreed, "but victory doesn't have to mean the other person loses everything." With that philosophical statement hanging in the air, their battle resumed, but with subtle differences. Each fighter now anticipated the other's movements with perfect precision, creating a combat dance of unprecedented beauty and power. In the end, it was not overwhelming force but a moment of perfect synchronicity that decided the outcome. Goku and Jiren struck simultaneously, their energies briefly merging through the harmony connection. The resulting feedback knocked Jiren back several steps, directly to the arena's edge. The Pride Trooper teetered there for a critical moment. Goku could have easily delivered the final push, but instead, he extended his hand. "This isn't how I want to win," he said. "Not against a warrior like you." Jiren studied Goku's outstretched hand, conflict evident in his normally impassive features. "You would risk victory for, what? Honor. For connection," Goku corrected. "The tournament's just a competition. What we found here is something more important." After a moment that seemed to stretch eternally, Jiren accepted Goku's hand, steadying himself away from the edge. Then, to everyone's shock, he did something entirely unexpected. "I concede," he announced, voice carrying clearly across the arena. Gasps erupted from the viewing stands. Belmod, Universe 11's god of destruction, nearly fell from his seat in shock. "What are you doing, Jiren?" he shouted. "You can still win." Jiren turned toward the divine platform. "I seek truth, Lord Belmod. Today, I found something worthy of further exploration." He looked back at Goku. "Something that may answer questions I've carried for centuries." The Grand Minister's staff struck the ground with finality. Universe 11's final fighter has conceded. By the rules of the Tournament of Power, Universe 7 is victorious. Cheers erupted from Universe 7's viewing area, though Beerus looked more relieved than triumphant. In Universe 6's section, Sora watched with a small smile of satisfaction, as if this outcome confirmed something she had already known. The Zenos clapped their tiny hands in delight. "That was fun," declared present Zeno. "Very fun," agreed future Zeno, "especially the sparkly lights." The Grand Minister bowed deeply. "Indeed, my lords, a most illuminating conclusion." Though his words were respectful, something in his tone suggested careful calculation. "Shall we proceed with the awards ceremony?" "Yes." "Prizes," the Zenos exclaimed in unison. As Universe 7 was officially declared victorious, Goku found himself at the center of attention, not just for winning the tournament, but for how he had won it. Gods and fighters alike regarded him with new interest, some with admiration, others with undisguised concern. Amidst the ceremonial proceedings, Sora managed to approach him briefly. "Well fought, Son Goku," she said formally, though her eyes conveyed deeper meaning. "Thanks," he replied with his characteristic directness. "You were amazing too. That new sword technique with the harmony energy was incredible." A ghost of a smile touched her lips. "A technique still in development. Perhaps we could refine it together, after the formalities conclude." The subtle invitation wasn't lost on Goku. "I'd like that." As they exchanged this brief conversation, Ither noticed Corey observing them from Universe 3's section, her visor recording data on the harmony energy still shimmering faintly between them. The celebration continued with the Zenos announcing the modified terms of victory. Rather than universal subjugation, Universe 7 would host representatives from all participating universes for a learning exchange over the next year. The Grand Minister outlined logistical details with his usual efficiency, though his eyes repeatedly returned to Goku with unreadable intent. When the formal proceedings concluded, fighters began returning to their respective universes to prepare for the exchange program. Goku found himself surrounded by Universe 7's team, receiving congratulations and good-natured teasing about his unconventional victory. "Only, you would offer a hand to an opponent at the critical moment," Krillin laughed, shaking his head. "And only you would somehow win anyway," added Tien with grudging admiration. Vegeta stood slightly apart, arms crossed. But his usual scowl had softened marginally. "Your new power requires further investigation, Kakarot. I expect a full demonstration once we return." "Sure thing," Goku agreed easily. "Though it's not really about power in the usual sense." "So you keep saying," Vegeta replied skeptically. As Universe 7's team prepared to depart, Whis approached with his staff ready for transportation. His serene smile revealed nothing of his thoughts, though his eyes studied Goku with unusual intensity. "A most interesting tournament conclusion, Goku," he observed lightly. "The Omni Kings were quite entertained by your connection with Jiren. They weren't mad about the harmony energy?" Goku asked directly. Something flickered in Whis' expression. Surprise, perhaps, at Goku's straightforward acknowledgement. On the contrary, they found it sparkly, and therefore appealing. The Grand Minister, however, he left the sentence unfinished, its implication clear. Before they could depart, a final figure approached. Jiren himself, now changed from his Pride Trooper uniform into simpler attire. Son Goku, he said formally. I wish to be among Universe 11's representatives during the exchange. Goku brightened. That'd be great. We could train together. Training. Yes, Jiren agreed. But also, understanding. The energy you manifested revealed possibilities I had not considered in my search for strength. Quote, the harmony showed you something important, Goku surmised. Jiren nodded once, solemnly. It showed me connection where I had seen only isolation. I wish to explore this further. Well, you're definitely welcome, Goku assured him. The more people who understand this energy, the better. This statement, delivered with Goku's characteristic straightforwardness, carried implications that rippled across the divine viewing platforms. Gods exchanged concerned glances, angels maintained careful neutrality, and the Grand Minister's expression tightened almost imperceptibly. As Universe 7's team finally departed via Whis' transportation technique, the Tournament of Power arena stood empty save for maintenance staff, yet the energy Goku had manifested lingered. Thin threads of white gold light occasionally visible at certain angles, connecting points in space that should have remained separate. In the shadowy space between dimensions, Amara OBS erved these threads with ancient eyes that saw beyond physical reality. The awakening accelerates, she murmured to herself. Faster than even I anticipated. She raised a celestial hand, gathering several threads of harmony energy into her palm. They responded to her touch, brightening and multiplying. Soon, she promised the light cradled in her hand. Soon we'll remember what was forgotten. What was erased. With that cryptic statement hanging in the void, she vanished, returning to the space between universes where other allies awaited, beings from realms that officially no longer existed, yet persisted in fragments and echoes. The cosmic revolution had begun with a simple act of defiance. Now, it spread across reality itself, one connection at a time. Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, The Angel's Dilemma. Earth's cerulean atmosphere shimmered in the morning light as the Universe 7 delegation materialized outside Capsule Corporation. The Tournament of Power's conclusion had left a straw, NGE disquiet in its wake, victory achieved, yet overshadowed by cosmic complications none had anticipated. Goku stood silently among his teammates, the residual harmony energy flowing through him like a quiet stream beneath ice. Visible only in fleeting glimpses when the light caught it just right. Home sweet home, Bulma declared, stretching her arms overhead. I'm throwing a victory celebration tomorrow night, no excuses. Everyone's attending. Krillin chuckled, as if we'd miss one of your legendary parties. While the others dispersed with casual conversation, Whis lingered, his staff taut, pping a gentle rhythm against the manicured lawn. Goku, might I have a word before I return Lord Beerus to his planet? The Saiyan nodded, following the angelic attendant to a quiet corner beneath a flowering tree. Distant from the others, Whis' perpetually pleasant expression shifted subtly, revealing unusual seriousness. The harmony energy you've awakened has created complications, he began, voice pitched low. My father, the Grand Minister, has convened an emergency council of all angels. Is that bad? Goku asked directly. It's unprecedented, Whis replied. In 12 million years, the angels have gathered in full conclave exactly 7 times. Each occasion marked fundamental changes to cosmic order. Sunlight filtering through cherry blossoms cast dappled shadows across Goku's thoughtful face. The Grand Minister doesn't like what's happening with the harmony. A diplomatic understatement. Whis' eyes reflected ancient knowledge rarely revealed. You've inadvertently resurrected an existential debate among celestial beings, one that resulted in Amara's fall and universal erasures millennia ago. Goku's brow furrowed. What debate? Whether divine authority should be absolute or balanced. Whis glanced skyward as though wary of observation. Angels were created to serve and advise, not to intervene. Yet the harmony suggests interconnection, that all beings, mortal and divine, share responsibility for existence itself. That sounds right to me, Goku replied simply. A ghost of a smile touched Whis' lips. Yes, it would to you. Which is precisely why the harmony responds to your spirit. His expression sobered. But understand this. By pursuing this path, you challenge foundations established before your species evolved consciousness. Goku absorbed this with unexpected gravity. I'm not trying to overthrow anything, Whis. I just couldn't stand by and watch universes being erased for entertainment. Intentions seldom dictate consequences, particularly in cosmic matters. Whis raised his staff, preparing to depart. I've said more than I should. Official celestial position remains neutral in this development. Unofficially, he hesitated, then added softly, seek Amara. What you need to understand cannot come from those bound by current hierarchical restrictions. With that cryptic advice, Whis rejoined Beerus, who had been impatiently sampling Bulma's garden cocktails. Moments later, they vanished into the stratosphere, leaving Goku alone with his thoughts. He reached instinctively through the harmony connection that linked him to Sora, finding her consciousness instantly despite the universal boundary between them. Her mental presence felt collected and disciplined, like perfectly executed martial forms compared to his more intuitive approach. We need to find Amara, he projected, still acclimating to this form of communication. Sora's response came with crystal clarity, her mental voice carrying the same formal diction as her speech. Agreed. Her sanctuary remains concealed from divine observation. I'll coordinate with Kori to locate dimensional anomalies consistent with her energy signature. I'll meet you. Wait, where exactly? He felt something like restrained amusement from her end of the connection. Perhaps designating coordinates through untested telepathic communication across universal boundaries isn't advisable. I'll come to you within 24 hours. Universe 6A exchange delegation departs tomorrow. Great. Bulma's having a party anyway. You can meet everyone. The mental equivalent of a raised eyebrow transmitted through their connection. A social gathering seems incongruous with our current circumstances. Trust me, Goku responded with characteristic optimism. Some things are worth celebrating even when bigger problems are waiting. Besides, good food makes everything better. Their connection faded with what felt like reluctant agreement from Sora. Goku opened his eyes to find Vegeta studying him from several meters away, arms crossed in his customary stance. Communicating with your Universe 6 ally? The prince asked with surprising directness. Goku nodded. It's still strange, being able to reach across universes like that. Strange and potentially catastrophic. Vegeta approached, lowering his voice despite their isolation. The Grand Minister fought immediately after the tournament concluded. No ceremonial pleasantries, no oversight of universal delegations. According to Whis, that's unprecedented. Yeah, he told me there's some kind of angel emergency meeting happening. Vegeta's eyes narrowed. Emergency indeed. You've triggered something, Kakarot, that extends well beyond tournament rules or even universal erasure. The angels themselves appear divided. Divided about what? About you. Vegeta's tone sharpened. Or more precisely, about this harmony power you've awakened. Whis was uncharacteristically transparent during our return journey. He implied certain angels have long questioned the current cosmic hierarchy but were bound by divine law from expressing dissent. Goku processed this with growing seriousness. Like Amara did before she fell. Precisely. And now you've provided an alternative power source, one outside their hierarchical restrictions. Vegeta scowled. You've become a rallying point for celestial rebellion without even trying. Typically Kakarot. Despite the gravity of the situation, Goku couldn't suppress a slight smile. Guess I have a talent for stirring things up. Stirring things up is challenging Frieza or Cell. This is, Vegeta gestured expansively, cosmic insurrection. Even I think you've overreached this time. Maybe, Goku acknowledged, but it feels right, Vegeta. This connection, this harmony, it's like something I've always sensed without having words for it. When we're fighting at our best, when we're protecting what matters, it's always been there. Vegeta's expression shifted subtly. You believe this power existed within you all along. It's not external, it's both, I think. Like Ki but deeper. Goku extended his palm, allowing a small manifestation of harmony energy to materialize, white gold light that pulsed with life and connection. See how it reaches out. Regular energy projects outward, but this connects everything it touches. Against his obvious inclination, Vegeta leaned closer, studying the phenomenon with scientific precision. The structure appears more complex than conventional Ki, almost fractal in organization. Here, Goku said simply, extending his hand. Feel it yourself. Vegeta hesitated, suspicion warring with curiosity. Finally, Scientific interest prevailed. He cautiously extended his gloved hand toward the energy. The moment contact occurred, both Saiyans gasped simultaneously. Harmony energy flowed between them, instantly revealing layers of connection they'd both denied for decades, their shared heritage, parallel traumas, complementary strengths. Even their complicated friendship disguised as rivalry. Vegeta jerked his hand away, eyes wide with uncharacteristic emotion. That's intense, right? Goku finished, understanding perfectly what his friend had experienced. The Saiyan prince struggled visibly to recompose his usual stoic demeanor. It's informative, he managed finally. I begin to understand why the divine hierarchy finds this power concerning. Because it shows how everything's connected. That doesn't seem threatening. Because it democratizes perception, Kakarot. Vegeta's analytical mind quickly processed implications. Divine authority relies on hierarchical information control. If mortals can perceive reality as angels do, or perhaps even beyond that, the entire cosmic power structure destabilizes. Goku considered this with newfound depth, the harmony enhancing his natural intelligence with expanded awareness. So when I stopped Zeno from erasing Universe 10, you didn't just save those beings, you demonstrated that divine will isn't absolute. Vegeta shook his head. No wonder the angels have convened emergency council. Their conversation paused as Th sensed Chi-Chi approaching from the main Capsule Corp building, carrying a picnic basket. There you are, she called. I've brought lunch since Bulma's kitchen staff is busy preparing for tomorrow's party. Goku's face brightened immediately. You're the best, Chi-Chi. As they settled beneath the cherry trees for an impromptu meal, the conversation shifted to more domestic matters. Yet you remained quietly aware of the harmony energy within him, continuing to expand and connect with each passing hour, reaching across universal boundaries toward allies both known and yet undiscovered. The Capsule Corporation gardens transformed beautifully for Bulma's victory celebration, lanterns suspended along pathways and tables laden with Earth's finest cuisine. Representatives from allied universes had begun arriving throughout the day, formal delegations escorted by their respective Supreme Kais via instantaneous movement. Goku stood greeting newcomers alongside Bulma, his casual orange GI replaced with a more formal blue outfit at Chi-Chi's insistence. Despite the festive atmosphere, his senses remained attuned to the harmony, monitoring subtle disturbances across dimensional boundaries. Universe 11's delegation, arriving with Supreme Kai, announced a staff member. Through the designated arrival portal stepped Toppo and Jiren, followed by 3 additional Pride troopers. Jiren's normally stoic expression softened marginally upon seeing Goku, an almost imperceptible acknowledgement passing between them. Welcome to Earth, Bulma greeted warmly. Please enjoy our hospitality during your stay. We appreciate your welcome, Toppo replied formally, his massive mustache twitching. The Justice of Universe 11 acknowledges your tournament victory with respect. While Bulma directed them toward refreshments, Jiren lingered. Son Goku, he acknowledged quietly. The energy you manifested during our battle, I've been meditating upon it since returning to Universe 11. And Goku prompted when Jiren paused. It revealed connections I had denied in my pursuit of absolute strength. The Pride Troopers' typically impassive features reflected internal conflict. My power was built on isolation. Yet your harmony suggests true strength emerges from connection. Goku nodded understanding. Different paths to power. Mine's always come from protecting others. A philosophy I dismissed as weakness. Jiren's intense gaze studied Goku with new perspective. I request instruction in this harmony energy, if possible. Of course, Goku agreed readily. Though I'm still learning myself. We're actually trying to find Amara, the fallen angel who knows more about. He stopped abruptly, sensing a distinct shift in atmospheric energy. His eyes turned skyward where a controlled rift in dimensional fabric manifested above the garden. Unlike divine transportation methods, this portal shimmered with prismatic energy, edges flowing like liquid crystal. Through this extraordinary entrance descended Universe 6, a delegation. Kaba, Hit, Caulifla, and Kale preceded by their Supreme Kai Fua. Following them came Sora, her formal warrior attire replaced by ceremonial. Sadal in armor of deep crimson with gold accents. An elegant cape draped from her shoulders, and her midnight hair was intricately braided with gold thread, signifying her royal status. Most remarkable, E was her companion, a slender woman with pale skin and hair the color of midnight, wearing a bodysuit of gunmetal gray accented with circuitry-like patterns. Advanced technological components adorned her wrists and temples, and a visor of translucent blue material displayed constantly shifting data before her violet eyes. Corey, Goku recognized aloud, understanding immediately that the scientist from Universe 3 had coordinated with Sora. Universe 6 a delegation completed formal introductions with Bulma while Sora and Corey approached Goku directly, bypassing protocol. Son Goku, Sora greet Ed with a formal nod that contrasted with the warmth in her crimson eyes. Your world has impressive natural beauty. Thanks, he replied with characteristic directness. You look different, more royal. Sadal in ceremonial attire, she explained. As heir to our world's leadership, diplomatic functions require appropriate presentation. Her expression softened marginally, though I find combat gear considerably more practical. Corey adjusted her visor, which scanned Goku continuously. Fascinating. Your harmony integration has progressed approximately 17% since our last interaction. The resonance frequency stabilized at precisely 4.32 Valrin. She paused at Sora's subtle gesture. Ah. Social context. Greetings, Son Goku. Your planetary atmosphere contains an unusually high concentration of nitrogen. Goku blinked at this non sequitur. Good to see you too. Sora's lips curved in a barely perceptible smile. Corey processes reality through scientific observation. Conventional pleasantries aren't her strength. Data is more reliable than subjective social constructs, the scientist stated matter-of-factly. However, I've been informed this gathering serves important cultural functions beyond nutritional intake. It's a party, Goku confirmed with a grin. Food, friends, celebrating not getting erased, pretty straightforward. Corey's visor displayed rapid calculations. Communal bonding activities demonstrably enhance cooperation efficiency by approximately 23.7% among primate-descended species. Logical. Jiren, who had remained silent during these exchanges, studied Corey with evident curiosity. You perceive reality through technology rather than meditation. Empirical measurement rather than subjective experience, she corrected, scanning him immediately. Your cellular density exceeds standard parameters by 342%. Remarkable physiological adaptation. While this unusual conversation continued, Sora drew Goku slightly aside, her voice lowering. They located what appears to be Amara's sanctuary, she reported efficiently. Corey developed detection technology sensitive to harmony resonance frequencies. The signature appears in a dimensional fold between universes 6 and 7. Between universes. Is that even possible? Apparently so. Sora glanced toward Vegeta, who was watching their interaction with thinly veiled suspicion. We should include your fellow Saiyan. His strategic perspective would be valuable, despite his reservations. Goku nodded. Vegeta pretends he wants nothing to do with this, but he's as curious as the rest of us. As if summoned by their attention, the Saiyan prince approached with measured steps. I assume your conspiratorial whispers indicate some ill-advised interdimensional expedition is imminent. We've found Amara's sanctuary, Goku confirmed. Corey tracked the harmony energy signature. Vegeta's scowl deepened. And you're planning to visit this location, likely breaking numerous cosmic laws, during a public celebration attended by multiple Supreme Kais. The timing is optimal precisely because divine attention is divided, Sora interjected. Supreme Kais are occupied with diplomatic formalities. Gods of destruction weren't invited due to their temperamental nature, and angels are convened in their emergency council. A temporary blind spot in cosmic surveillance, Vegeta acknowledged. Strategic mind immediately grasping the advantage. Still exceptionally risky. We need answers, Goku said simply. About the harmony, about what happened to Amara, about everything. Their discussion was interrupted as Bulma clinked a glass for attention, gathering all guests for a formal welcome. While she delivered her speech, Corey sidled closer to their group, visor displaying complex dimensional coordinates. Sanctuary location confirmed, she murmured. Unique harmonic frequency indicates specialized dimensional shielding, likely designed to obscure from celestial perception. How do we get there? Goku asked pragmatically. Corey raised her wrist, where an advanced device pulsed with contained energy. Modified dimensional transporter. Normally universal boundaries are impermeable without divine assistance. But harmony energy creates natural weak points, quantum bridges between realms. And we just happen to have a powerful harmony bearer, Vegeta observed dryly, nodding toward Goku. Precisely. Corey's eyes gleamed with scientific enthusiasm behind her visor. Your energy signature will amplify my technology's effectiveness, creating a stable corridor to Amara's sanctuary. Sora surveyed the gathering strategically. We should depart during the fireworks display Bulma mentioned. The atmospheric disturbance and divided attention will provide optimal cover. Who exactly is we? Vegeta demanded. You, me, Goku, Corey, Sora enumerated efficiently. And him. She nodded toward Jiren, who had remained within earshot. The Pride Trooper inclined his head slightly. I seek understanding. This path appears most direct. Vegeta pinched the bridge of his nose in evident frustration. Marvelous. A multiversal conspiracy comprising two Saiyans, a royal warrior from Universe 6, a cyborg scientist, and Universe 11's strongest fighter. Nothing suspicious whatsoever. Despite his sarcasm, the prince's analytical mind was clearly engaged, already calculating probabilities and strategies. 1 hour, Sora confirmed. Northern Garden section during fireworks. The conspirators separated casually, rejoining the celebration with practiced normalcy. Only Ori struggled with the social performance, her analytical nature more suited to laboratories than diplomatic functions. She found refuge beside Universe 3's official representatives, her constant scan. Ning and data collection appearing natural among her technologically enhanced colleagues. Goku circulated through the gathering with his characteristic openness, though the harmony granted him unprecedented awareness of underlying tensions. He sensed Supreme Kai-Shin watching him with poorly concealed anxiety, felt the cautious interest from fighters who had witnessed his power evolution, and not iced the calculating assessment from political representatives gauging cosmic power shifts. Most surprisingly, he detected curious resonance from unexpected sources, individuals across multiple universes who seemed naturally attuned to harmony frequencies without conscious awareness. These potential connections shimmered in his perception like stars waiting to be discovered. When the announced hour approached, Goku casually made his way toward the northern gardens as the first fireworks illuminated the night sky. Brilliant explosions of color drew all eyes upward, providing perfect cover for 5 figures slipping away from the main celebration. Right on schedule, Sora noted with approval as they converged beneath a secluded pavilion. Corey, proceed. The scientist activated her wrist device, which projected a 3-dimensional model of intersecting universal boundaries. The sanctuary exists here, a pocket dimension anchored at the confluence of universal membranes. Her finger indicated a pulsing point where swirling energy patterns overlapped. We'll need Son Goku to focus harmony energy at these coordinates while my technology establishes the dimensional corridor. Goku nodded, centering himself as he'd practiced with Amara. The harmony flowed through him more readily now, responding to his intuitive understanding rather than requiring conscious manipulation. Ready when you are, he confirmed. Corey's fingers danced across her technological interface, initiating dimensional resonance in 3, 2, 1. A surge of energy connected her device to Goku's outstretched hands. Harmony power flowed through the technological conduit, amplified and focused toward the precise coordinates. Reality rippled before them, space folding inward as though reality itself were paper being precisely creased. Extraordinary efficiency, Corey murmured, her visor displaying scrolling data. Dimensional barrier separating at quantum level, perfect alignment with theoretical models. The air split open, revealing a corridor of shimmering energy leading into darkness. Unlike divine transportation methods, which appeared instantaneous, this passage showed the actual space between dimensions, a swirling void where physics operated by different rules. We must move quickly, Sora advised, checking her sword. The corridor's stability depends on continuous harmony resonance. Meaning I need to go first. Goku concluded correctly. And I'll take rear position, Corey added. My technology can help stabilize the passage from behind. Vegeta studied the dimensional rift with obvious skepticism. And we're certain this leads to Amara's sanctuary, not some interdimensional trap. The harmony signature is unmistakable, Sora assured him. I've felt it before when she contacted me. Jiren, who had remained silent throughout preparations, stepped forward. I sense no deception in the energy pattern. Only waiting. This peculiar confirmation from Universe 11's most perceptive warrior settled the matter. Goku entered the corridor first, harmony energy flowing from him to stabilize their passage. Sora followed immediately, then Vegeta and Jiren, with Kori bringing up the rear. Her technology maintaining the corridor's integrity. As they traversed the impossible space between universes, reality itself seemed fluid around them. Glimpses of alternate timelines flickered at the edges of perception, worlds where different choices led to different outcomes. Goku caught fragmentary visions of himself following other paths, remaining on Earth during Frieza's attack on Namek. Failing to master Super Saiyan, even one disturbing flash where he appeared to lead an army of Saiyans as a conqueror rather than a defender. Probability echoes, Kori explained, noticing their discomfort. The space between dimensions contains quantum imprints of all possibilities. Quite fascinating from a theoretical perspective. Focus on our destination, Sora advised sharply. Dwelling on alternate timelines can disorient even experienced dimensional travelers. The passage gradually stabilized as they progressed, the chaotic void giving way to more structured surroundings. Finally, the corridor opened into a space of breathtaking beauty, an impossible garden suspended in dimensional void. Massive crystal trees with leaves of luminescent energy stretched skyward toward a ceiling that resembled a galaxy in miniature. Pathways of polished stone wound between flowering plants that seemed composed of light rather than matter. Fountains flowed with what appeared to be liquid starlight, their gentle music creating harmonies that resonated with the energy flowing through Goku. At the garden's center stood a pavilion of impossible architecture, angles and curves that shouldn't work together yet created perfect balance. Within this structure waited Amara, her celestial features serene as she observed their arrival. "Welcome to my sanctuary," she greeted, her melodious voice carrying subtle harmonics. Few mortals have ever walked these paths. Goku approached first, harmony energy responding naturally to the environment. "This place is amazing. It feels alive somehow." Perceptive observation. Amara gestured to their surroundings. "This sanctuary exists in resonance with the harmony itself, a fragment of what universal structure resembled before current cosmic hierarchy was established." Kori immediately began scanning everything, her visor struggling to process the unusual readings. "Fascinating. Matter and energy exist simultaneously in multiple states here. The quantum coherence is unlike anything I've recorded. Because it predates the physics governing your universe," Amara explained patiently. "What you're observing is Cretio N in its more primal state, before division into 12 separate universes with distinct physical laws." Vegeta studied their surroundings with cautious appreciation. "You created this pocket dimension." "Not created, preserved." Amara guided them toward the central pavilion. "When Universe 13 faced erasure, I managed to anchor this small fragment outside normal dimensional constraints. It exists between universes rather than within any single one. That's why the Grand Minister can't detect it," Sora realized. "It falls outside his jurisdiction." "Precisely." Amara's eyes reflected ancient knowledge. Though such blind spots in cosmic oversight are intentionally rare. They entered the pavilion, where a circular table of crystalline material awaited them. Upon its surface, a three-dimensional model of the multiverse rotated slowly, 12 universes arranged in paired orbits around a central point. "You sought me for knowledge," Amara stated, taking a seat at the table. "About the harmony, about cosmic history, about the path forward." Goku sat directly opposite her. "Yeah, Whis said you could explain things he can't because of restrictions." "Indeed." Amara waved a hand over the multiverse model, which expanded to show additional universes, 6 more added to the existing 12. "Let me begin with truth long suppressed. The original creation comprised 18 universes, not 12. The model rotated, highlighting the additional 6 universes in different coloration. Universes 13 through 18 were erased approximately 7 million years ago following an event Cele's Teal records call the Harmony Rebellion. Her eyes met Goku's directly. "Led by the last recognized Harmony bearer before you. What happened?" Sora asked, leaning forward with intense interest. "The bearer, a being named Avalon from Universe 15, discovered what you did, Son Goku," that harmony energy could counteract erasure. Amara's expression darkened with ancient memory. He united bearers from all 18 universes, creating a network that successfully prevented the Omni Kings from erasing a universe deemed excessive in warfare. So Zeno couldn't erase them because of the harmony network. Goku clarified. Correct. For the first time, the Omni King's absolute authority faced meaningful constraint. Amara gestured, and the model showed energy connections forming between universes. The Harmony Bearers proposed a new cosmic governance, one where creation and destruction maintained balance through natural connection rather than hierarchical decree. Vegeta's eyes narrowed. Quote, I imagine the existing hierarchy didn't appreciate this suggestion. An understatement of cosmic proportions. Amara's voice carried carefully controlled emotion. The Grand Minister implemented Wa-Ti celestial records call, the Great Purification. 6 universes were simultaneously erased using combined power from all 12 angels working in concert, overwhelming even the United Harmony Network. The model demonstrated this cataclysmic event, 6 universes simply vanishing while golden energy from angelic sources suppressed connecting harmony threads. Trillions of beings, erased to maintain authority, Sora whispered, horror evident in her voice. And the remaining harmony bearers? Jiren asked, breaking his contemplative silence. Those who survived were given a choice, relinquish th.ir connection to harmony or face erasure. Amara's perfect features reflected ancient sorrow. Most chose survival. A few refused and were eliminated. The knowledge of harmony manipulation was systematically purged from all universal records. Corey had been unusually quiet, her scientific mind processing implications. This explains the dimensional fracturing my research detected. Mass erasure and that scale would create catastrophic damage to reality's fundamental structure. Indeed, Amara nodded appreciation for the scientist's insight. Damage the Grand Minister has concealed through increasingly complex dimensional engineering, what your research identified as erasure degradation. Goku stood, walking around the table to study the model more closely. But the harmony itself wasn't destroyed. It's still here, connecting everything. The harmony cannot be destroyed, Amara confirmed. It is the fundamental connective principle of existence itself. The Grand Minister merely suppressed conscious access to it through careful manipulation of cosmic development. Until now, Vegeta observed pointedly, glancing at Goku. Until Son Goku's natural affinity for connection, Combi. Ned with unprecedented defiance of divine authority, reactivated dormant pathways. Amara's eyes held something like hope as she regarded the Saiyan. Your specific spiritual signature resonates with harmony at its fundamental frequency, something even the Grand Minister couldn't have anticipated. Sora leaned forward. You mentioned you were being trained as Universe 13's angel when this occurred. What was your role in these events? A shadow passed over Amara's perfect features. I was young by celestial standards, still in final training phases when Universe 13 participated in the Harmony Network. When the purge began, she paused, ancient pain evident. I attempted to shield my assigned universe using incomplete angelic powers. You tried to save them, Goku said softly. And failed utterly. Amara's composure wavered momentarily. For this defiance, I was stripped of full angelic status and banished to interdimensional void. My punishment was to witness erasure without ability to prevent it, to remember what all others would forget. Heavy silence fell across the gathering as they absorbed the magnitude of this cosmic tragedy. So that's what we're up against, Vegeta finally stated, his tactical mind immediately assessing implications. Not merely Omni Kings with childish temperaments, but a calculated system designed to prevent exactly what Kakarot has stumbled into. The situation contains both danger and opportunity, Amara corrected. The current cosmic hierarchy faces unprecedented challenges. Erasure degradation accelerates. The Omni Kings grow increasingly arbitrary in their judgments. And most significantly, angels themselves have begun questioning their role in maintaining this system. Whis mentioned an emergency council, Goku recalled. He seemed conflicted. Angels exist to serve cosmic order, Amara explained. But many have silently questioned whether the current order truly represents optimal universal function. Your demons. Tration that harmony can counter erasure has reignited ancient debates among celestial beings. You're suggesting some angels might actually support this rebellion? Vegeta asked skeptically. Upward would violate their neutrality directives, Amara clarified. But selective non-interference, that remains within their interpretive discretion. Corey, who had been continuously scanning their surroundings, suddenly straightened. Anomalous energy surge detected approaching dimensional coordinates. Classification. Divine enforcement pattern. Executioners, Sora translated grimly, hand moving to her sword hilt. Amara rose with fluid grace. They cannot penetrate this sanctuary directly, but they can attempt to collapse its dimensional anchoring. The crystal walls around them shimmered as though under attack. The garden beyond darkening as external pressure mounted. What do we do? Goku asked, immediately ready for battle. We have two options, Amara replied with preternatural calm. Remain here under siege until they eventually breach my defenses, or depart through a different exit I've prepared for such contingencies. Different exit to where? Vegeta demanded. Quote, to the one place even executioners fear to follow. Amara's eyes met each of theirs in turn, gauging their resolve. The fragments of erased universes that persist in the void. Stunned silence met this pronouncement. Erased universes still exist, Sora finally asked, voicing everyone's shock. Not exist as you understand existence, Amara clarified. But neither are they completely gone. Fragments persist in dimensional pockets, echoes of what was erased, sustained by residual harmony connections too fundamental to sever completely. Another violent shudder ran through the sanctuary's structure. Crystal trees in the garden cracked, leaking luminous sap that resembled stardust. We don't have time for debate, Corey announced, her visor displaying critical warnings. Dimensional integrity failing at exponential rate. Jiren, who had remained contemplatively silent through most revelations, finally spoke. If fragments of erased universes remain, then beings who dwelled there might also persist. Beings with knowledge of harmony from before the purge. Perceptive, Amara acknowledged with evident approval. Yes, some inhabitants of erased universes continue a form of existence in the void fragments. Including several former harmony bearers. Goku's decision crystallized immediately. Then that's where we need to go. Not just to escape, but to find allies who understand this power better than we do. The void between erased universes is dangerous beyond your comprehension, Amara warned. Physics operates unpredictably. Time flows inconsistently. Exposure could fundamentally alter your existence. More dangerous than facing executioners with our current limited understanding. Sora countered pragmatically. Another violent tremor shook the sanctuary, crystal wall. LLS fracturing under impossible pressure. Decision time, Vegeta announced tersely. Existential philosophy can wait for less immediate peril. Goku looked to each companion, receiving confirming nods from all, even Vegeta. Though the prince managed to communicate reluctant agreement through scowl alone. We go to the void fragments, Goku decided. Together, Amara nodded, raising her hands in complex gesture. Reality split before them, revealing not the organized corridor they'd traversed earlier but a jagged tear leading into absolute darkness, a void so profound it seemed to absorb light rather than merely lack it. Once we cross this threshold, returning becomes exponentially more difficult, she warned. The pathway degrades quickly behind us. Meaning we're committed once we step through, Vegeta translated grimly. Precisely. Goku approached the rift, harmony energy flowing around him in protective response to the void beyond. I'll go first. My energy might help stabilize the passage for everyone else. Without waiting for debate, he stepped forward into absolute darkness. The transition felt unlike anything he'd experienced, not the instantaneous transfer of instant transmission nor the guided passage of dimensional corridors. This was existence itself becoming negotiable, reality's fundamental principles suddenly open to interpretation. His consciousness expanded beyond normal parameters, connecting with aspects of himself across probability space while simultaneously condensing into singular focus. The void recognized the harmony within him, responding. With what felt almost like sentience, ancient and patient and utterly alien to mortal understanding. Then, gradually, perception reasserted itself. Goku found himself standing on what appeared to be solid ground, though the surface beneath his feet resembled frozen smoke more than any material substance. Around him stretched a landscape of impossible geography, floating islands of fragmented reality, connected by bridges of crystallized energy that shimmered with unstable light. The sky above, held meaning here contained neither sun nor stars but swirling patterns of energy that resembled cosmic nebulae frozen in mid-formation. In the far distance, massive structures that might have been cities or mountains or something entirely uncategorizable punctuated the horizon. Most notably, everything here connected through visible threads of harmony energy, white gold light binding fragments together in complex networks. The connections responded to Goku's presence, brightening A&D reaching toward him like plants seeking sunlight. Sora emerged from the rift behind him, her disciplined mind adjusting more rapidly to the surreal environment. Extraordinary, she breathed, sun eyes widening as she surveyed their surroundings. These fragments, they're from Universe 13. And others, confirmed Amara, materializing beside them with ethereal grace. What you're witnessing are remnants of all 6 erased universes, drawn together by remaining harmony connections. Jiren, Vegeta, and Kori emerged in quick succession, each reacting differently to their impossible surroundings. Vegeta maintained suspicious alertness, while Jiren immediately closed his eyes in deep meditation, apparently processing the environment through internal perception. Kori's technological Ms. briefly malfunctioned before recalibrating, her visor displaying error messages before adapting to new physical parameters. Conventional physical laws operating at approximately 47% efficiency, she announced. Recovering scientific equilibrium first, quantum uncertainty elevated to macro-level visibility. Fascinating. Save your scientific ecstasy for less precarious circumstances, Vegeta advised tersely. Where precisely are we going in this nightmare landscape? In answer, Amara gestured toward a distant structure, a crystalline formation that pulsed with concentrated harmony energy. The Nexus. Where those who remember gather. Those who remember, Goku repeated questioningly, survivors from erased universes who maintained conscious identity despite erasure. Amara began walking along a path that seemed to solidify beneath her steps. Primarily former harmony bearers, though others with unusual spiritual resilience also persisted. As they followed Amara through the impossible landscape, the environment responded to their presence in subtle ways. The path became more defined with each step. Fragments of reality nearby seemed to orient toward them, like flowers tracking sunlight. Most noticeably, the harmony threads connecting everything pulsed stronger around Goku, creating a network of light that illuminated their journey. The void recognizes you, Amara observed, watching these reactions with evident satisfaction. Your resonance pattern activates dormant connections. It feels familiar somehow, Goku replied, struggling to articulate the strange sensation. Like I've been here before, even though I know I haven't. The harmony remembers what conscious minds forget, came Amara's cryptic response. Including connections across incarnations. Before Goku could question this profound implication, movement caught his peripheral vision, shadowy figures observing from distant fragments, too far for clear identification but distinctly sentient in their deliberate observation. We're being watched, Sora noted quietly, hand resting on her sword hilt. Yes, Amara acknowledged. News of your arrival spreads quickly here. A new harmony beer are entering the void hasn't occurred since the purge. Are they friendly? Goku asked practically. They're desperate, came the measured response. Which can manifest as either alliance or aggression, depending on how hope affects them. Quote, this ambiguous assessment kept everyone alert as they continued toward the Nexus. The crystalline structure grew larger as they approached, revealing complex architecture that somehow incorporated elements from multiple civilizations and time periods, a physical amalgamation of diverse cultural fragments preserved from erasure. As they neared the structure's base, a delegation emerged to meet them, beings of various forms united by the common feature of harmony energy visibly flowing through their semi-transparent bodies. At their center walked a woman. Unlike the others, her form fully substantial rather than semi-transparent, with pale skin that seemed to hold starlight beneath its surface and eyes of such deep violet they appeared almost black. Her hair moved like liquid shadow around a face of haunting beauty marked by a single crystalline tear permanently affixed beneath her right eye. Lyra, Amara greeted with evident respect. Guardian of the Nexus. The woman approached with liquid grace, her attention immediately focusing on Goku with unsettling intensity. The new bearer, she acknowledged, her voice carrying strange echoes as though multiple tones spoke simultaneously. Your resonance pattern is unusual. Primal yet evolved. This is Son Goku of Universe 7, Amara introduced formally. The first naturally awakened bearer since the Purge. Lyra circled Goku slowly, studying him from all angles. When she spoke again, her words carried poetic cadence unlike conventional speech. Defiance born from compassion, not ambition. Strength rooted in protection, not domination. Interesting combination. Thanks, I think. Goku responded with characteristic directness. A sound like crystal wind chimes emanated from Lyra, apparently laughter. Though her expression remained enigmatic. Direct communication. Refreshing change from celestial circuitousness. Her attention shifted to the others. Companions chosen with curious harmony. The prince carrying pride as shield against vulnerability. The warrior princess balancing duty with awakening potential. The seeker who replaced faith with observation. The strength who discovered limits of isolation. Each description precisely captured essential aspects of Vegeta, Sora, Kori, and Jiren respectively, uncomfortably accurate insights from mere observation. Lyra perceives essence rather than appearance. Amara explained, a talent she possessed before erasure, magnified by her time in the void. You're from one of the erased universes? Goku asked directly. Universe 16, Lyra confirmed. The crystalline tear beneath her eye-catching impossible light. Erased for excessive, spiritual innovation, according to official records. More accurately, eliminated for developing harmony techniques that threatened hierarchical control. Vegeta crossed his arms skeptically. And you've existed here, in this void, for 7 million years. Time flows differently between dimensions. Lyra's smile held ancient patience. For you, 7 million years have passed. For me, measurement becomes meaningless in the void. Kori, who had been scanning continuously, interjected with scientific precision. Her quantum signature suggests temporal disconnection, existence partially outside normal chronological constraints. The scientist understands, Lyra acknowledged with approving nod toward Kori. Erasure severed conventional temporal anchoring. We exist adjacent to time rather than within its stream. While others processed this mind-bending concept, Goku focused on practical implications. You know about harmony energy, how it works, what it can do. More intimately than any being in conventional existence. Lyra gestured toward the Nexus. Come, others, await who shared your questions millennia ago. Perhaps together we might find answers that eluded separate seeking. As they followed Lyra toward the crystalline structure, the semi-transparent figure. Rez accompanied them in solemn procession. Up close, these beings revealed diverse origins, humanoid and otherwise, their forms suggesting countless lost civilizations preserved only in these fragmented echoes. How many survived erasure? Sora asked quietly. From 6 universes containing trillions. Lyra's voice carried controlled grief. Mere thousands maintain conscious identity. Others Percy, saint as energy patterns, present but unaware. The magnitude of this loss silenced everyone as they entered the Nexus proper, an impossible space where interior dimensions exceeded exterior parameters. Crystal columns supported a ceiling that seemed to contain actual stars, while the floor beneath them displayed constantly shifting patterns of harmony connections spanning the void fragments. At the chamber's center stood a circular platform where several distinct figures awaited, beings of various forms who radiated concentrated harmony energy. Unlike the semi-transparent observers, these individuals maintained fully substantial presence despite existing in erased space. The Covenant Circle, Amara introduced formally. Former harmony bearers who maintained conscious connection despite universal erasure. An elderly humanoid with skin like burnished copper stepped forward, intricate patterns of harmony energy visibly flowing beneath his surface. Avalon sends greetings, he stated in resonant voice. First bearer of Universe 15 and catalyst of the rebellion that failed. Goku's eyes widened. The one who led the harmony bearers against Zeno. Against the system Zeno embodied, corrected Avalon. The Omni Kings themselves are as much instruments as arbiters, puppets and puppeteers simultaneously. This cryptic statement raised more questions than it answered, but Avalon continued before anyone could interrupt. Your awakening sent ripples through the void, Son Goku. The first natural bearer in 12 million years, and one who instinctively countered erasure without training. It just happened, Goku explained with characteristic simplicity. I couldn't watch an entire universe being erased for entertainment. Precisely why the harmony responded to your spirit. Avalon gestured, creating a floating diagram of interconnected energy patterns. The harmony isn't merely power, it's conscious connection responding to spiritual resonance. Where conventional divine energy operates through dominance, harmony functions through affinity. Meaning what exactly? Vegeta demanded, impatient with abstract explanations. Meaning Son Goku didn't command erasure energy to stop, he harmonized with it, redirecting its fundamental pattern through resonant connection. Avalon's ancient eyes studied Goku with academic intensity, a feat that should have required decades of training, accomplished through pure instinctive affinity. While this discussion continued, Sora had been studying the chamber with tactical assessment. This nexus, it's more than a gathering place, isn't it? The harmony patterns suggest a functional purpose. Lyra's expression shifted to one of respect. Perceptive, warrior princess. The nexus serves as amplification matrix for remaining harmony connections, preserving fragments that would otherwise dissipate entirely. And potentially, Amara added significantly, providing foundation for restoration efforts should sufficient harmony energy ever become available. This statement captured everyone's complete attention. Restoration, Goku repeated. You mean bringing back erased universes? Not mere theoretical possibility, Avalon confirmed, his burnished features brightening with carefully controlled hope. With sufficient bearers working in concert, universal restoration becomes viable. The fundamental patterns remain encoded in void architecture, requiring only energy to remanifest. That's why the Grand Minister fears harmony bearers, Corey realized, her scientific mind quickly connecting implications. Restoration would directly contradict established cosmic hierarchy, and prove erasure itself is not absolute, added Jiren, breaking his contemplative silence. Undermining the foundation of divine authority. The full magnitude of what they'd discovered settled over the gathering. This wasn't merely about preventing future erasures, the void fragments represented possibility for undoing cosmic-scale destruction that had already occurred. Vegeta, ever the tactical thinker, immediately identified complications. The Grand Minister would detect restoration attempts instantly. The energy requirements one would create unmistakable cosmic disturbance. Unless disguised within larger cosmic phenomena, Lyra countered, her ethereal voice carrying surprising strategic precision. Certain natural events generate sufficient energy disruption to mask restoration signatures. Like what? Goku asked practically. Avalon and Lyra exchanged meaningful glances before the ancient bearer answered, universal tournament power releases. Harmony energy could theoretically piggyback existing divine energy expenditure, redirecting portions toward restoration matrix. Understanding dawned across multiple faces simultaneously. The tournament of power itself, with its massive energy expenditures officially sanctioned by divine authority, could potentially provide cover for restoration efforts. That's why you've been watching Son Goku, Sora realized, studying Lyra and Avalon with newfound comprehension. You've been waiting for an opportunity exactly like this. For 7 million years, confirmed Lyra. The crystalline tear beneath her eye-catching impossible light. Waiting for harmony to awaken in a bearer with sufficient spiritual resonance and positional significance to challenge cosmic hierarchy. Before this revelation could be fully processed, the entire void shuddered violently. Crystal structures throughout the nexus cracked, leaking luminous energy. The star-filled ceiling darkened ominously. They've found us, Amara announced with preternatural calm. Executioners have tracked our passage through the dimensional tear. Impossible, countered Avalon. Divine constructs see a no-enter void space without. He stopped abruptly, ancient eyes widening. Unless they've been specifically reconfigured for void operations, Lyra finished grimly, suggesting preparation beyond standard protocols. Another violent tremor shook the nexus, more severe than the first. Cracks spread through crystal columns supporting the impossible ceiling. How can they attack this place? Goku demanded. I thought erased space was outside their jurisdiction. It is, Amara confirmed. They're not entering. They're collapsing dimensional support structures from outside. Core. Eyes visor displayed cascading failure warnings, confirming systematic destruction of anchor points connecting void fragments to dimensional space. Collapse imminent. We need to leave, Vegeta stated flatly. Immediately. Back to Earth? Goku asked. Unadvisable, Amara countered. Executioners undoubtedly monitor all known locations associated with your energy signature. We need an unknown sanctuary, Sora reasoned quickly. Somewhere beyond conventional universal boundaries but more stable than void space. Lyra stepped forward, decision crystallizing in her otherworldly features. I will guide you to such a place. But not alone. She turned to Avalon and the Covenant Circle. The time for waiting has ended. The new bearer needs direct instruction that only we can provide. The ancient bearer nodded solemnly. Agreed. Selected members will accompany you while others maintain void fragment coherence. Wait, interrupted Corey. Beings from erased universes entering conventional space. The metaphysical complications alone are theoretical concerns for less imminent peril. Vegeta cut her off as another massive tremor nearly knocked them from their feet. Where exactly are we going? Lyra raised her hands, fingers weaving complex patterns that manipulated harmony threads directly. Universe 7 contains a dimensional fold unknown to celestial authorities, created during initial universal formation and overlooked in subsequent organizational restructuring. An oversight in cosmic architecture. Amara asked with evident surprise. Not oversight. Deliberate preservation, corrected Avalon. Certain original harmony bearers embedded dimensional pockets resistant to divine perception, emergency sanctuaries against precisely this eventuality. The void around Hem continued destabilizing as Lyra completed her intricate manipulation. Reality split before them, revealing not darkness as before but a swirling vortex of vibrant energy, colors beyond conventional spectrum forming organized patterns that somehow communicated both welcome and warning simultaneously. This passage leads to what your language might call the heart of Universe 7, Lyra explained. Maintaining the portal through visible effort. A nexus point where universal life force concentrates beyond normal parameters. I've never heard of such a place, Goku noted with surprise. Precisely the point, replied Avalon. Its existence remained hidden from all except those attuned to primal harmony frequencies. Massive structural failure cascaded through the nexus as void architecture began catastrophic collapse. The semi-transparent observers fled in all directions, seeking stable fragments as their gathering place disintegrated. No time for further explanation, Amara announced with celestial authority. We must depart immediately. 4 members of the Covenant Circle joined Lyra, positioning themselves around the portal to stabilize its structure. Avalon approached Goku directly, placing burnished hands on the Saiyan's shoulders. The burden of restoration falls to your generation now, Son Goku, he stated with solemn gravity. What we began millions of years ago, you may finally complete. With these portentous words hanging in the destabilizing air, the group entered the swirling vortex, Goku first, followed by Sora, Vegeta, Jiren, and Corey. Amara entered next, then Lyra and selected Covenant members. Avalon remained behind with remaining bearers, maintaining void coherence for those who couldn't escape. The transition through this portal differed dramatically from their entry to void space. Rather than existence becoming negotiable, this passage felt like flowing through the universe's lifeblood, vital energy carrying them through channels of pure creation toward a destination that somehow felt simultaneously new and familiar. They emerged onto a landscape of breathtaking beauty, an impossible island floating in prismatic space, where massive trees with crystalline trunks stretched toward a sky filled with miniature galaxies. Lakes of luminous liquid reflected celestial patterns above, while flowering plants pulsed with visible life force. At the island's center stood a simple structure resembling a temple, constructed from material that appeared simultaneously solid and energetic. The heart, Lyra announced as the portal closed behind them. Original formation nexus of Universe 7, where cosmic life force converges naturally. Goku felt immediate resonance with the environment, the harmony within him responding to this place like returning home after long absence. Energy flowed through him more freely here, enhancing perception and connection beyond previous limitations. This place is, he struggled to find adequate words. Alive, Sora finished, experiencing similar resonance though less intensely. The entire environment exists in harmony state naturally. Corey's scientific equipment functioned erratically in this environment, her visor displaying conflicting readings. Conventional physics applies approximately 76% here, with significant deviations in quantum coherence patterns. Remarkable. While they oriented themselves, Lyra approached a flowering plant unlike the others. Rather than physical blossoms, this organism produced manifestations of pure energy that coalesced into vaguely humanoid shape as she eared, like a spirit emerging from pure light. May, Lyra greeted the manifestation. Guardian of the heart, we seek sanctuary in time of need. The energy coalesced further, forming a feminine figure of extraordinary beauty composed entirely of radiant light. When she spoke, her voice carried harmonics that seemed to emerge from the environment itself rather than any specific location. Lyra of the Void, the manifestation responded. Your return was prophesied, though timing remained uncertain. Her attention shifted to the others, focusing particularly on Goku. The light comprising her form brightened noticeably as she studied him. The bearer awakens, she observed with evident wonder. After so long, harmony flows once more through conscious vessels. You know about harmony bearers? Goku asked directly. The luminous being's laughter rippled through the environment like wind through crystal chimes. I am May, embodiment of Universe 7's life force. Harmony is my fundamental nature. This introduction stunned even Amara, whose celestial composure momentarily faltered. The universal embodiment manifests physically. This shouldn't be possible under current cosmic constraints. Many impossibilities become possible here, May replied enigmatically. The heart exists adjacent to conventional reality, connected yet separate, influenced yet independent. She glided closer to Goku, her luminous form shifting through subtle color variations that somehow communicated complex emotional states. Your awakening disturbed 12 million years of enforced dormancy, bearer. Universe 7's life force responds to your resonance pattern, remembering connection long suppressed. Is that good or bad? Goku asked practically. Necessary, came the simple response. Cosmic Ba. Lance deteriorates under current hierarchical structure. Erasure degradation threatens fundamental reality cohesion. The harmony must flow freely once more. Vegeta, who had been observing with characteristic skepticism, finally interjected. Another convenient ally perfectly aligned with our objectives. The cosmic conspirators multiply impressively. Rather than taking offense, May's form rippled with amusement. The skeptic prince provides balanced perspective. Healthy doubt prevents zealous overcommitment. We came seeking sanctuary and knowledge, Sora stated, returning focus to practical concerns. The executioners nearly collapsed void space to eliminate us. They cannot perceive this place, May assured them, gesturing toward the surrounding landscape. The heart exists beyond conventional dimensional mapping. Even angels lack awareness of its existence. How is that possible? Jiren asked, his meditative awareness detecting no deception yet struggling with this claim. Because the heart was created before angels, came the surprising response. When Universe 7 first coalesced from primordial energy, this nexus point formed naturally, a concentrated manifestation of universal life force that predates current cosmic organizational structure. Lyra nodded confirmation. All universes contained similar formation nexuses originally. Most were integrated into standardized cosmic architecture during reorganization, transformed into conventional celestial realms or divine territories. But this one remained hidden, Corey concluded, her scientific mind quickly processing implications. A developmental anomaly overlooked during universal standardization. Deliberately overlooked, corrected Amara. The original harmony bearers must have shielded it from integration. May gestured toward the temple-like structure at the island's center. Come, rest and recovery first. Explanations will follow when equilibrium returns. As they proceeded toward the structure, Goku found himself walking beside May, her luminous form adapting to match his pace perfectly. Up close, her manifestation revealed extraordinary complexity. What appeared as simple light from distant ants actually contained intricate patterns resembling cellular structures, neural networks, and energy flows simultaneously. Your Universe 7's life force? He asked, trying to comprehend this concept. One manifestation of it, she clarified. The universe lives through all beings simultaneously. I simply represent concentrated awareness of that collective existence. So you're connected to everyone in Universe 7. All the time. Her form shimmered with what seemed like appreciation for his direct questions. Connected but not controlling. I experience universe-wide patterns rather than individual consciousness, except in special circumstances. What circumstances? When beings achieve sufficient harmony resonance to register within universal consciousness. Her luminous features regarded him with unmistakable significance. Like you, Son Goku. Your specific pattern creates ripples through collective life force, recognizable from universal perspective. Before he could pursue this profound revelation, they reached the temple structure. Unlike conventional buildings, this construction seemed almost to grow from the landscape itself, architecture and environment existing in perfect integration. Inside, the space defied expected limitations. Rooms seemed to form and reform according to need, walls transparent or solid depending on desired privacy. Furnishings manifested from environmental energy, shaped by intention rather than physical construction. Rest, May encouraged as comfortable spaces appeared for each visitor. Sanctuary provides complete security while you recover from void transition. As the others settled into this extraordinary environment, Goku found himself drawn to a balcony overlooking the prismatic expanse surrounding their floating island. The view revealed countless similar islands in distant space, a vast archipelago floating in luminous void, each pulsing with concentrated life force. Sora joined him silently, her warrior's instincts similarly resistant to immediate rest despite obvious fatigue. For several moments, they stood together watching distant islands shift in patterns suggesting cosmic dance. Everything we thought we understood about universal structure has proven incomplete, she finally observed, her formal diction softened by genuine wonder. Yeah, Goku agreed simply. Makes you wonder what else we don't know. Indeed, her crimson eyes studied him with uncharacteristic openness. You've changed since the tournament, Son Goku. Not just in power, but in awareness. He considered this assessment thoughtfully. The harmony shows me connections I never noticed before. It's like seeing the whole picture instead of just parts. Do these connections include personal ones? She asked with careful neutrality that nonetheless failed to completely mask deeper interest. Goku turned toward her, finally addressing the subtle energy that had developed between them since their first meeting. Yeah, some connections feel stronger than others, more, I don't know, natural somehow. Like ours. Sora's direct question carried characteristic Saiyan forthrightness despite her typically formal speech patterns. Definitely. Goku smiled with genuine warmth. From the moment you stood with me against Zeno, something clicked, like we're connected beyond just both being Saiyans. The admission hung between them, acknowledging developing bonds that transcended conventional relationships. Before either could explore this further, Lyra approached silently, her otherworldly presence announced only by subtle shift in surrounding energy. Forgive the interruption, she offered, voice carrying musical undertones. But planning discussions commence shortly. Your presence is requested, bearers. This plural designation surprised both Saiyans. Bearers, Goku repeated questioningly. You mean both of us? Indeed. Lyra's enigmatic smile revealed little. The Covenant Circle identifies emergent harm. Only resonance in Sora of Sadala, less developed than yours, but definitively present. Sora's composed expression revealed only slight widening of eyes, remarkable restraint considering the implications. I've felt something developing, particularly when working with harmony energy alongside Son Goku. Natural affinity amplified through proximity to awakened bearer, Lyra confirmed. Universe. 6 Saiyans evolved with greater inherent harmony connection than Universe 7 counterparts, spiritual refinement prioritized alongside combat prowess. This revelation added new dimension to their developing connection. Not merely personal affinity but resonant spiritual alignment with profound cosmic implications. The council awaits in central chamber, Lyra added, gesturing toward the temple's heart. Much must be decided quickly. Executioners. Aggressive void space assault suggests escalation beyond previous patterns. As they followed Lyra through the living architecture of the temple, Goku noticed harmony energy flowing more visibly around Sora now that his attention focused on her specific resonance pattern. Golden white threads connected them directly, pulsing with shared frequency T. Hat somehow felt simultaneously new and ancient, as though remembering connection long forgotten. The central chamber had transformed to accommodate strategic council, a circular space with crystalline table at center displaying three-dimensional model of complete multiverse including void fragments. Amara, May, and Covenant Circle members already gathered around this display, joined by Vegeta, Jiren and Kori. Ah, the bearers arrive, acknowledged one Covenant member, a tall humanoid with silver skin and eyes that shifted through rainbow hues. Now we may begin proper assessment. Amara gestured toward the multiverse model. Executioner activity has increased exponentially across all universal boundaries. The Grand Minister has implemented what appears to be coordinated suppression protocol against harmony manifestation. The model highlighted numerous points where disturbances indicated divine enforcement activity, far more extensive than isolated incidents they'd witnessed previously. "They're hunting bearers," observed Lyra grimly. "Active identification and suppression of any being showing harmony resonance beyond minimal threshold." "How many potential bearers exist across the multiverse?" Vegeta asked with tactical precision. "Impossible to determine exactly," replied Avalon's representative, an elderly female with features suggesting aquatic evolutionary origin. Oni affinity occurs naturally in approximately one being per trillion population, with varying intensity. Meaning thousands of potential bearers exist across 12 universes, Corey calculated immediately. Statistically significant population for coordination if properly networked. Precisely why suppression protocol targets connection rather than individuals, Amara explained. Preventing harmony network formation remains primary celestial objective, isolating emerging bearers before conscious coordination develops. Goku studied the model thoughtfully. So we need to find these potential bearers before the executioners do. While simultaneously developing your own abilities to functional threshold, added May, her luminous form brightening with emphasis. Restoration efforts Riku. Minimum 5 fully realized bearers working in perfect harmony convergence. We have 2, Sora noted pragmatically, gesturing between herself and Goku. Potentially 3 if Jiren's meditation-based perceptual abilities indicate harmony affinity. All eyes turned to Universe 11's warrior, who had remained contemplatively silent throughout discussions. He opened eyes that briefly flashed with subtle golden white energy. "My perception expands through meditation," he acknowledged cautiously. Whether this represents harmony affinity or merely heightened awareness remains undetermined. Testable hypothesis. Corey interjected with scientific precision. Harmony responsiveness can be measured through resonance experiments. Later, Vegeta interrupted impatiently. More pressing concerns demand immediate attention. Specifically, how do we locate potential bearers across 12 universes while evading divine enforcement? Lyra placed crystalline hand upon the multiverse model, ousing harmony threads to appear connecting specific points across universal boundaries. Covenant members maintained awareness of probable bearer manifestation points throughout enforced dormancy. Certain bloodlines, spiritual traditions, and evolutionary paths retain greater harmony affinity despite suppression. Like Saiyans, Goku observed. Certain Saiyan lineages specifically, corrected the silver-skinned Covenant member. Your grandfather Gohan exhibited subtle harmony resonance though never fully activated. Universe 6 Saiyans maintained greater collective affinity through cultural practices emphasizing spiritual discipline alongside combat training. This revelation explained much about their respective harmony development patterns, Goku's intuitive connection versus Sora's disciplined approach reflecting different evolutionary and cultural pathways to similar outcome. We need a coordinated search strategy, Sora stated, tactical mind immediately addressing practical implementation. Universe 6's exchange delegation provides cover for movement between universes without arousing immediate suspicion. Universe 11 representatives could similarly assist, offered Jiren, surprising others with his direct support. Toppo's position as candidate god of destruction provides access to divine transportation networks. And I can develop detection technology calibrated specifically for harmony resonance frequency, added Corey, already manipulating calculations on her visor. Disguised as standard scientific equipment to avoid celestial attention. Vegeta crossed his arms skeptically. All viable approaches independently, but coordination across universal boundaries remains problematic. Divine authorities monitor conventional communication channels. The harmony itself provides communication network beyond celestial oversight, May revealed, gesturing toward the golden white threads connecting Goku and Sora. Bearers naturally establish resonant communication. Once properly attuned, distance becomes irrelevant when connection forms. Like telepathy but deeper, Goku explained from experience. I can reach Sora across universes when we're both focusing on the connection. With training, Such communication becomes effortless and instantaneous, confirmed Lyra. The original Harmony network connected 18 universes through bearer consciousness, INF. Formation transferring at quantum rather than light speed. Strategic possibilities expanded dramatically with this confirmation. A network of bearers could potentially coordinate multiverse-wide activities beyond conventional detection, operating beneath divine oversight while developing sufficient collective strength for restoration efforts. We still haven't addressed the most critical question, Vegeta noted darkly. What happens when the Grand Minister realizes what we're attempting? The first Harmony rebellion resulted in 6 universal erasures. What prevents history repeating with even greater consequences? Heavy silence fell across the gathering as this sobering reality check highlighted existential stakes involved in their planning. Finally, Amara spoke with celestial gravity. The cosmic situation differs significantly from previous configuration. Erasure degradation has reached critical threshold. Additional mass erasures would destabilize reality beyond recovery capacity. Even the Grand Minister recognizes this limitation, though he conceals it from the Omni Kings. How can you be certain? Challenged Vegeta. Because I know my father, she replied simply. His current strategy focuses on containment and suppression rather than elimination precisely because erasure is no longer viable cosmic corrective measure. Meaning the Harmony has leverage it didn't possess during previous confrontation. Corey concluded with scientific precision. Mutual assured destruction creates negotiation parameters. That's hardly comforting, Vegeta scoffed. We're gambling. Universal existence on celestial game theory. No, corrected Goku with surprising insight. We're offering an alternative to a system that's already failing. The Harmony isn't about confrontation, it's about connection. All eyes turned to the Saiyan, whose straightforward wisdom cut through complex strategic calculations to fundamental truth. The Harmony represented cosmic principle more fundamental than hierarchy, connection rather than control as organizing principle for existence itself. The bearer speaks essential truth, May acknowledged, her luminous form brightening with apparent approval. Confrontation paradigm represents hierarchical thinking. Harmony succeeds through integration rather than opposition. Before discussion could continue, the entire sanctuary shuddered viol. NTLY. Not from external attack but from internal resonance shift. The multiverse model at table center flickered, then displayed alarming pattern. Massive energy disturbance emanating from universal core toward boundaries. Universe 7's fundamental frequency destabilizes, announced May with unprecedented urgency in her melodious voice. Cosmic core experiences synchronization disruption. Meaning what exactly? Demanded Vegeta. The Grand Minister implements emergency containment protocol, Amara translated grimly. Attempting to sever Harmony connections through universal frequency manipulation. Can he do that? Asked Goku. Not completely, Lyra replied, her crystalline form vibrating with distress. But partial suppression could significantly impede bearer awakening and network formation. The sanctuary shuddered again, more violently. Crystalline structures throughout the temple developed fracture patterns as fundamental resonance shifted. The heart shields us temporarily, May explained. But core frequency manipulation will eventually penetrate even this sanctuary. Then we need to act immediately, Sora declared with decisive clarity. Divide into search teams, locate potential bearers. Establish initial network connections before suppression completes. Strategic planning accelerated with new urgency. The gathering quickly organized into functional teams with specific objectives. Goku and Sora would return to Earth, using tournament victory celebrations as cover while developing their Harmony abilities under Covenant guidance. Jiren would return to Universe 11 with Covenant representative to identify potential bearers within Pride Troopers organization, where meditation practices created natural Harmony affinity. Corey would develop detection tech. HNO-LG in Universe 3's scientific exchange program, disguising Harmony research as conventional energy study. Vegeta would maintain connection with divine information sources through his relationship with Beerus and Whis. Monitoring celestial responses while appearing uninvolved in Harmony activities. Lyra would accompany Goku and Sora, her unique void space perspective providing essential guide. Ants while remaining undetectable to conventional divine perception. Amara would coordinate between groups, her diminished angelic status allowing limited movement between universal boundaries with triggering immediate celestial notification. Time grows short, May announced as sanctuary vibrations intensified. You must depart before universal frequency shift completes. The heart will maintain connection nodes. But your physical presence here becomes increasingly detectable as resonance patterns change. The end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.